Last time we did a short retcon about Tilda speaking with Galloway and his intentions with her daughter. He had to explain again to yet another person, that he didn't really have any malicious or romantic intentions with Trixie, and made several promises about, just like telling her, saying it straight, yada, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. Back in present time, you guys had, explored the dungeon a little bit more. There's this really creepy chasm. Maybe it has an old one in it. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? It definitely did like tremble a bit. And then you guys had, and also there was a room where it looked like some bodies had exploded, possibly Gokor's former teammates. You guys had, Zaitari had contacted Switch at that point to let her know that they were needed at Reservoir Creep as soon as possible. You guys teleported home. Everybody had some alone time with their loved ones. At the same time, Raine, you showed Lily the schematics for the broken pocket watch, which Lily said she thinks she and Teagan can figure them out, like, easily. Teagan was preoccupied at the time. Afterwards, you guys had met up together to check for Sis. Alexandria happened to be at the keep, and you had asked her to come down to check her for Sis. During the cross-examination, it was discovered that her chest did radiate some conjuration magic. So after like a short struggle ensued, it turns out that Alexandria hasn't been Alexandria for a while. Since the Talisman of Ultimate Evil was given to real Alexandria at the time, it turns out that the old one that Alexandria had met up a long time ago, who she thought was a minor old one, was actually not a minor old one. Usurped the body eventually. And then once this was found out, you killed that body, extracted the soul gem which Alexandria resides in, to which that soul gem told you, hey, before, I was like put away, Agu, the major old one that took over my body, turned their body into a phylactery using the true polymorph spell, and it's probably back in their body now. So yeah. Since then, you guys have kind of contacted everybody else you've been in contact with. Lyris, Angelo, the Exalted. I believe you sent another sending to the Guardians being like, this is a code red. At this point, get over here as soon as possible. You also had a brief discussion of possibly relocating loved ones away from the keep when shit might go down. And at this point, you had talked about, I had some ideas of what you can do to put away said old ones. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else. Does anybody want to add anything?
No. I mean, we all know that shit went down and that it's all insane, and we just, I don't even know. Insanity.
Possible sword golem body.
Possible sword golem body, right. You
Did we decide to do that, or did we stick her in something else?
You had two. If you're thinking about
We gave her
golem
two
choice,
options.
yeah, you have two golem options:
an armadillo or a sword golem from hell.
And she picked the sword golem.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna pick the other one? Come on. I mean,
I would.
well, the one shoots swords.
Yeah, but the armadillo is roly-poly.
That's true. So
Yes, I would like to add that Tilda, upon seeing all of this, removes her face mask, and this is my new character. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Tilda is actually Vecna. Actually, all of you are
Yep,
Vecna.
All of us are Vecna.
Sure.
Everyone
Everybody's
is Vecna.
Are we like each a different, like someone's his hand, someone his eye, someone is...
It's oops all Vecna, and then one orc is thrown in for fun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that we were all different parts of Vecna. Which one would be the
What did you just say, Mallory?
So which one gets to be the penis?
I mean, it cut out, but I knew what she said.
I heard it too. I'm like, oh.
I heard it in my mind. I could sense what was being said.
Look, you're gonna say something dirty like that? You have to say it nice and loud.
Say it with your whole
Say it
chest.
loud, I swear.
Gosh. So we've got so much shit.
Right now, with you, Lyris came over. Angelo is over right now.
Yes.
As far as you know, the Guardians are en route. The Exalted are en route.
Who are the Exalted? Question mark?
Is Shalia and her buddies.
That's it. Okay.
You have contacted the Ice Queen, Isadora. As far as you know, she is en route. Oh, right. Bryn's grandfather has been turned to stone.
Yeah, because
Right,
they
yep.
activated the Dragon Spear.
Yep.
So question really quickly, because it's been a while since we've dealt with any Dragon Spear mumbo jumbo. So does that mean that all dragons of that color were turned into stone, or just that guy?
So Angela will explain to you, if you remember. The Dragon Sphere is used to turn metallic dragons, if you know their name, to stone.
You have to know their name.
Okay. So you have to know their name, and it's like one at a time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a worldwide phenomenon. I'm like, fuck.
No, it's not a
Me
worldwide
too.
phenomenon. It was, Angela will explain, like, this is when a time where, like, dragons kind of, like, ruled the world. There was, like, a period of time in the past that happened, and the chromatics were trying to vie for power, so they were able to create the Dragon Sphere with some help from some spellcasters. So they used that to shift the power.
Search for dragon names. That's they just Google it, list of metallic dragons, and just start reading them off.
Mostly,
I like that idea.
mostly it was spies. Angelo said lots of like spy networks and stuff to get the names of metallics. But the special thing about the Dragon Sphere that it uses Ode magic. So that was it's like the short version of its capabilities. But yeah, so Bryn is it's on route as well. So you got a lot of people coming.
Yep. And we have 2 old ones that are waking up, or
Yes.
are awake.
Or in the process are. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, we have one fully active. The second one is working on it.
Yeah. There's a possible third that you met in the future, but you haven't.
Yeah, we just met the emissary though, not the actual one. So,
but probably for sure 2.
yeah. I'm gonna say, we were briefly discussing the process that we need to screen people as they come in to the keep. So essentially, as they they arrive, we're going to let me get
TSA,
a-
but competent.
yeah. Essentially, we're gonna not let them into the keep. They have to essentially be subjected to a detect magic and a physical examination before they're allowed to come in, and then we're going to need to do obviously regular screenings as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would think that one of the things that we could do is we could set up a room, because the tavern that the God, I always forget his name, Rose and something Drake thing, yeah. We could have like a room that we set aside and everybody goes there, and that's where we go ahead and like just
Please
have
take off your
somebody
clothes.
yeah, have somebody do a search, and like we can have like we can maybe get like one person that we trust and like have them assigned to do it.
A good way to do that without actually putting somebody in physical risk, like if somebody does have a cyst, then the person who's inspecting it and finds it is suddenly at risk. Like Arcane Eye, you can do it remotely.
That's true,
Yeah,
and
but
I do have Arcane Eye, but I don't have it prepared.
how long does it last? Is it
I
like
think
a
an hour.
Give me a
okay,
second.
well we could do them in batches, I guess. I don't know how many times we want to cast that each day. Honestly, what I think that we could also do is we could have everybody wait in batches in the tavern. If we don't want to have one person there like doing screenings, we could instead have everybody wait in the tavern, and then like once we have a few people, just go over there fully armed, ready to fuck shit up, and do a search of everybody.
That's not terrifying at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been burned real recently, so
yeah, yeah, we have.
Mel is on the fucking lookout.
Another option for the physical safety thing, if Alexandria is a sword golem from hell, then she has no flesh to become cysted.
Oh, good
That's
point.
true.
She would be she'd be I don't know, I wouldn't say immune, like it's an old god, they could still, you know, do some crazy shit, I'm sure, but she
It's
would
just of the mind.
yeah.
Sorry. I mean, look, Tilda's willing to detect magic on people and Arcane Eye, whoever the hell, you know, needs to be Arcane Eyed. But you're gonna have to give her 8 hours.
Sure.
Mhm.
Well, we're gonna have to take some time. We can't do this all right now. I mean, people
People aren't going to be showing up immediately, so
yeah.
Yeah. You do have Lyris with you. Remember, you have Stefan. He's
Mhm.
around as well to help out.
Stefan is cat guy, right?
Yes.
Floaty tower.
Yeah.
captain.
Cat guy who is divorced.
Oh, yeah.
Question about him. I was thinking that he was kind of like a low end spellcaster, and I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to hold his own. Is he actually like pretty talented, or is he like a he knows some small skills and that's it?
He's more of a scholarly type, so most of the spell arsenal I would say Tilda and Zaitari have seen are mostly on the, like, comprehend languages and legend lores and things of that nature. Nothing really too combat heavy.
but he's still capable and not in danger of like dying.
No, yeah, he's
Okay.
fine, and he has a moving fucking tower.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
what
say,
I
as far as screening goes too, because he's a knowledge cleric, Nenrine has access to Arcane Eye and Clairvoyance. So if you want Nenrine to be the X-ray machine at the TSA checkpoint, you could do that because he has those spell slots and those spells.
And with Arcane Eye, he could do it from a distance, meaning that he wouldn't be in immediate danger.
Yeah, exactly. Also, as a, I don't remember what level cleric, but a high enough level cleric, should we need divination, the spell, he also has that.
Okay. Okay. So I guess what we can do is we can set up a Nenring TSA. Get him kind of like briefed on the situation after we of course search him. And then we can I think what we could do is have like when people come, try to get them kind of spaced out so we're kind of doing like a couple people at once, do a search, make sure that we're all available and ready to get our asses in gear while the search is going down. And maybe like send like a message over and kind of like explain what's going on so people aren't just like, why am I naked? And I mean, I think like that would maybe work.
Is the keep structured as such that there's like an entry hall with doors on either side, or like a mud room with doors on either side? Because if we can get it so it's like an airlock where it's somebody comes into a space, that'd probably be best without backtracking and stuff like that.
I would say, yeah, there's like a mud room. I'd say like where people like, you take your coat and stuff like that. Or there's like a foyer place. There's definitely a foyer.
Yeah, just anywhere where there's an entrance door from the outside, and then they have to stop and open another door to get into the keep. That would probably be the best place to set up the checkpoint, and then just close off the other entrances so that they have to pass through that spot.
Also, Zaitari, you know, given a long rest, can swap out one of her spells for Mirage Arcane if we want to physically hide the place, as well. So
Need to do that eventually, but we might. I think that it's going to take them. I think it's going to take any old ones that want to come fuck with us a little bit of time to get their shit together. So I don't know that we need to be on high alert this exact moment. I think that we can do some like housekeeping, get everybody in the keep checked, get everyone that we want to get out. That's going to be Mel's first order of business.
yeah, we should have a meeting with adult staff to discuss, and Zaitari
Please
will
check
definitely
your
suggest
children.
that we
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Just in case.
Honestly, especially Shattuck.
Yeah.
That can go real bad.
And Shattuck is immediately getting checked. We're not.
Yeah, I guess we're just on Team Evil. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
If we can get enough clerics too, it might not be the worst idea to start hallowing the keep.
I don't know if we'll have time to actually get that cast.
Takes 8 hours.
It's 24 hours to cast.
Oh, 24
So
hours.
if you get a couple clerics, you can hallow the important parts, like the
Oh,
entrances.
I was for some reason I was
coat
thinking it took
room.
like a week.
Oh no.
No.
But if we can hallow the important parts, like the checkpoint, and then like the war room or whatever, like by war room I guess I mean the baths, because I guess that's where our war room is.
No, we have a war room too.
We do have a war room.
You guys have a
It's
war
just that the
room.
baths are in the basement. You know.
But it might be a good idea.
The war room bath.
Might be a good idea to hallow a couple important spots, because that only take a couple days.
The bath is important. We need our me time still, you know.
It's true.
Because one of the things you can do with hallow is you can make it so that when you're in that space you can't become afraid. That might be useful with any kind of old one incursion.
There's also extra dimensional interference, and affected creatures can't move or travel using teleportation or by extra dimensional or interplanar means.
We should try to get that cast on the area that we're doing the examinations in. Because not Alexandria did try to TP her way out.
Yeah.
So
There's also silence, where no sound can leave or come into the area.
Mm.
We can totally clamp it down.
Yeah, I was taking a look at things that might be useful that Zaitari could do. Unfortunately, guards and wards only last for 24 hours, so that's not really
I was also
super
thinking
great.
about that one.
But Mirage Arcane lasts for 10 days, which is good. So it can at least, for visual detection, hide the keep as far as that's concerned. I don't know about anything else, though. It's mostly that clerics have access to the good shit. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got 5 cleric spells that I have to choose for our level 18 level up. I don't want to be metagamey about it, though, but it's like,
I mean, Hallow's a good one anyway, so.
what's a good one?
Hallow.
Hallow, yeah.
Yeah.
At least for a noble that has, permanent places of residence.
That
to
is
protect it.
true.
And if you don't already have ceremony, it might be a good idea to get it.
Hey, Raine and Melanie, guess you're eloping. Woo!
Technically, I do have access to all level 1's cleric spells already. Just
Oh yeah,
as
'cause
a
you're a
cleric.
cleric,
Okay.
yeah.
For my 1 spell level of cleric. Does any of this have to do with
Well, along with Nenrine, you do have Lyris currently on premises. He came almost right away. Angelo is at your disposal currently. Tegan's around. Demeter, who you know is like a rogue alchemist, is around. Stefan's around.
Is Angelo also a bard, or is he just a warlock?
Angelo is a straight warlock.
Okay. Definitely not gay. Ha 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 ha.
So if there's anything
Well,
you
I've
want
already-
to ask them, then
I've already taken my 2 wizard spells.
Okay. I'm trying to find the other. I can't remember the name of it. There's a cleric spell where you designate like a holy space or like a home base, basically, and it's an instant teleport to it, regardless of the plane.
Word of recall.
Yeah, we've done
Yeah.
that. That's good.
I
I did give a list of what I think are good cleric spells.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Um,
I just wasn't sure if you saw it or not.
mhm. Yeah, word of recall. The only issue is that you have to designate a sanctuary, and we already have a designated sanctuary to. What was Ronnie's
To
deity? Tyr. There we
tier
go.
and balance.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the chapel that we have is like a non-denominational chapel, and I think to designate Ronnie's sanctuary, he just put 2 rocks in perfect balance.
Yep.
Yeah, he basically made it symmetrical. And I was like, good enough.
That's good for me. But I mean, I'm wondering if I could be like, hey, let's if I wanted to teleport us to like there's a temple of Arathis in Valito, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So would that work?
mean, I don't see why not.
Okay. So if there's another way of teleporting us, if I take that.
And it's lower level, so I do think that's worthwhile because
Yeah.
you know, one or both of us, like I might not have a spell slot for teleport. We might not have time for teleportation circle, you know, and that's instant.
Okay, one down. It's great I have more spells. I just wish I could pick more spells to,
Yeah, I feel
prepare
that.
that day.
Yeah.
Like, where did it go? Where did it go? There it is.
Was there anything you guys wanted? You guys wanted to have a meeting with the adults.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
just
keep.
gonna bring that up.
Okay.
Because I think, just to skip, obviously, like recapping everything that we already know to them. I think we should be fairly straight with them why they need to or are being encouraged to take a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But if they wish to stay in the keep, they're more than welcome because we're obviously going to fortify it. But if they want to peace out,
Fair
no
enough.
problems.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Also, we should
curious
probably
who
keep
all might
an
be
eye-
staying or going.
Exactly. We should probably keep a close watch on those who are staying, just in case.
Alright, look at the full TSH. Probably actually should do the full TSA treatment on everyone and then call a meeting. For OPSEC.
Yeah, we could do it that way.
Depending on how paranoid you want to be. But that's the safest way to do it. Safer way to do it.
Oh yeah, before we even do the meeting, we'll obviously do the
Yeah.
examination because, duh.
Okay. I mean, nobody resists the TSA examination. The question is like, why are you like checking? But I mean, they go along
Turn your head
with
and
it.
go.
I know this seems like an HR violation, but I promise you it's not.
Also, we kind of are HR, so.
We are HR, goddammit.
But yeah, go ahead and whoever wants to conduct the examination, roll me. I assume you're doing detect magic as well.
Yep.
All right. So give me a investigation check. Whoever is doing it with advantage, please.
I'll also give you a bardic inspiration. Why not? Whoever's doing it.
Who's doing it? Because nobody's stepping forward
Well,
here.
I would
Not
do
me.
it, but I don't have any type of detect magic, so I have to do it with someone. I have a decent investigation plus a minimum of 23, roll 23, but
I mean, we
But
were assuming that
someone is
Tilda
helping.
was going to detect magic because, well, she's the only one who can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be doing detect magics. If that means that I have to be the one to do the investigation checks, that's fine. I've got a plus 12 to investigation, so
You're probably going to be
it's
the best at
okay.
it anyway. Also, Mel will be in there as backup. So that should shit go down, I mean, unless we're all going to be in there, but at least Mel will make sure that she's there in case.
I was assuming that we were all going to be in there.
Okay.
Aoife would rather post up on the outside of the door just to make sure nobody's coming in.
Oh, that's fine. That makes
Yep.
sense because you'll be right there. Close enough if anything goes down.
Okay.
39.
Okay. You're very thorough.
It's all a simulation.
Um, nobody.
You see past.
None
the
of your staff appears
fourth
to
wall.
have any indication of corruption.
Okay.
That one should get that mole checked out. So
Yeah,
you
one.
know.
There's one that has like a little mole that's like, it could be skin cancer. Maybe you should get that checked out by a cleric.
Like a professional one.
Yeah.
At the hospice hall that I will build.
Okay, so the NPCs you have at the keep currently, besides Teagan and Lily, recently acquired, is he goes by Lion. He's the strong man that you wrestled in Robur, that you hired on as security. You have your quartermaster, Zaitari's friend from her caravan.
Sure.
Demeter, Chambers, your cook, I believe she is Stonebreaker, if I recall, something like that.
I believe her name is Rose.
Yeah.
Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie.
Rosie, Stonebreaker, same difference.
She was accosted by, I remember, large badgers because of wayward animals.
Oh, great.
Oh fuck.
No, I
Yeah, I
remember
know,
this.
right?
I don't remember this, but I mean it doesn't sound that insane. So
Nenrine, of course, who is who you've checked him out already. That's really everybody that is on staff. And you explain pretty much what they need to know, like, hey, there's some shit going on. Like, how much do you tell them?
Enough to get across the gravity of the situation. I feel like the Alexandria being fake is probably not necessary.
Okay.
Because that might be like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then when we restore Alexandria, they might be very suspicious. So
yeah, that's pretty fair.
Or if she shows up as a sword golem.
I mean, everyone should be fucking suspicious of that. Yeah.
Says the one who wanted the sword golem.
I wanted a sword cannon, not a sentient being from hell who happens to shoot swords. Very different request.
Fair enough.
Teagan accommodated your request as best as he possibly could, okay?
I'm not hating on Teagan. He did his best, but it's not like it was originally Melanie's idea to have a hellish sword golem. You know, that was not the original plan. So.
Okay. Chambers wants to stay. Sounds like things are, to her, it sounds like things are eventually going to go down with not just the keep.
Yeah.
Demeter is also going to stay as well. However, both Chambers and Demeter are probably going to request like a couple days off to maybe arrange.
They don't want their children to go.
They don't want the kids here. They're probably going to try to find relatives or friends further away from civilization that they want them to be at. You know, not,
that is very reasonable.
Not to be any close in any cities. Probably in a very small village on the outskirts, something like that. Lion's gonna stay. Zaitari, I always forget her name. She's from your caravan.
I can't remember her name either, so fine.
She is.
Good job, guys.
You have a lot of
Listen,
people.
I can't remember the 8 NPCs I made up for this caravan, okay?
Are they not in your backstory?
I mean, yeah. but it's not on my character sheet. It's elsewhere. I think it's on a Google Doc.
Yeah, it is on the Google Doc. She is gonna stay for now. She does like after you tell her everything, Zaitari, she does bring you like, takes you off to the side to ask you,
Mhm.
are you gonna let your mom's caravan know about this? Maybe you can just kind of warn them not to stay around any cities for now.
That's probably a great idea. I wasn't quite sure what to tell them because I figured being on the move would be the safest thing to do, but probably staying out of cities. So, yeah. Tomorrow, because Zaitari has a whole 7th level spell slot yet, and I'm gonna save that just in case. Actually, wait, no, I don't, because I cast a whole 6th level spell slot left. So I'm gonna save that just in case I need it for something. So I will send a sending to Zaitari's mom tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair.
Zalia. I remembered her name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her main concern. If things
Yeah,
sound
no,
like
it
they're
makes
going
sense.
down.
Zaitari was also thinking it over, so not quite sure she wasn't quite sure what to do about it. So.
Chambers also asks in the meantime if something does happen to the keep, is there a plan B other than GTFO as
That's an excellent question.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Plan B is GTFO, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like we can ensure safe magical transport anywhere without
Yeah.
us being at the keep. So
Right.
that's the problem.
Could we, at very least, tell them someplace they could go theoretically arrange ahead
Like
of time?
kind of like a
at least
meet-up?
be temporary.
Yeah.
Like,
If you escape,
Go-
meet up here or something like that. That's what like the staff is wondering.
go to
Yeah, the
Beta,
fire
the
exit
Queen will
plan.
house you for 1 week or something, or whatever. I don't know.
We could probably do that. Tilda would not volunteer this without first talking to Theo about it. Is it possible that we could say, Tilda, before we did a whole TSA search on the staff, that she talked to Theo about maybe if something happens to the keep, can they go to the Loyalar estate in the Duchy of Loyalar rather than in the city of
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well.
Valito.
But obviously wasn't going to offer it up.
Yeah.
Zaitari
Right.
wasn't going to offer it up herself, but talk to Tilda about it.
Yeah, Theo's definitely fine with that. He was kind of
Mhm.
thinking that anyways once everything like started.
Also, I would like to check Theo for cysts.
Okay. Roll an investigation check. I know you probably have detect magic up.
Yep. So, at advantage again?
Yes.
Nice.
Double ones.
Oh, what about our artificer? Is she cool with staying and all that?
Yeah, Lily's cool with staying. Lily actually thinks this is all very exciting.
Oh, I
yeah,
bet.
that tracks.
That tracks, yeah.
Especially when do you tell her, hey, we might have to put somebody in the sword golem?
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah,
your
'cause she's
armadillo?
probably gonna do it.
Oh yeah, she, Lily's like, oh, can I try it? Yeah, that's her mindset about it. She just doesn't seem worried about like world-ending possibilities. She's very like, okay, that's we're all gonna die at one point, but can I do this first?
Mm-hmm.
That's her attitude with everything. Yeah, Theo's definitely Theo's clear.
Okay. And I'm like, we're going to have to do something about the servants at the estate as well, and your father. And
You ready to see your father-in-law naked?
Nope. But if it's what she has to do, it's what she has to do. I can be professional and impartial. Definitely.
I would not want to see my father-in-law naked. So
Uh,
me
she's-
as a
Yeah,
person.
no. Trust me, that it's not something she's looking forward to, but
If it must be done, medical aspect, I guess. you know.
Yep. That's basically it. Yeah. So,
Okay.
if when Chambers brings it up, right now the plan B is for you all to gather at the Loyola estate in the duchy.
Okay.
If by some chance if by chance somebody makes it to Valido, there is also the Loyola estate in Valido. But you will be more or less left alone there. As in, there will probably be no one to. I'm just making it sound better. There'll be no one there to serve. There will also be no heat.
You guys trying to save on the heating bills? What is?
Yes! If there's nobody living there, then yes!
That's a good point.
True.
There's no point in running a fire in the fireplace.
I'm sure that they all know how to run some heat, so.
Yeah, I'm sure. But Tilda says it anyway. So, yes. Or you can always find other employment if you find these too dangerous to live with these circumstances. We will not hold that against you.
I mean, they all like, all of them are just like, well, we knew what we were like. Chambers says, I had a feeling. I knew I was signing up for when I was hired. I mean, it's very clear that all of you often go into unusual and dangerous situations. So
Devastatingly gorgeous. I thought that's how that sentence was going to end. No. I'm joking. This is just Ro joking. Sorry.
yeah, but they all knew what they signed up for. It's a scary situation. They all know, but they most of them feel safer around you guys than, well, anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
Especially if
So-
this situation's gonna come to pass.
Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, even the palace in Valido was like partially decimated.
Yep.
So if the palace isn't safe, or wasn't safe, then where truly is.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody you've checked so far do not have cis.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do any
That
of the
is good.
horses have halflings inside?
I mean, we can go through all the horses if need be.
No, I think we're good.
Anybody doing anything else in the meantime? Talked about plan Bs. You talked about possibly hallowing areas.
Aoife does want to float by the group her idea for separating an old one into pieces
Can
for imprisonment.
before we talk about that, can we send one of like maybe Chambers or whoever's willing to do it to go into the city with a bunch of money and buy the supplies that we need for hallowing and all of the other expensive spell components?
Demeter says she does it. She needs to get some stuff as well, anyways, like potion. She needs to stock up on potion supplies if shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yep, makes sense.
But yeah, if you give her a list of like what you need for like hallowing and things, she can get it.
Is it okay if we determine that list and it's just a bit esoteric right now, but we have a shit ton of money, so it'll probably be taken care of?
Yeah,
You
Because
do
I
have a
can't.
shit ton of money.
Okay.
yeah. You
Yeah.
guys have a shit ton of money. How much money are you sending her with?
We will decide that later.
Okay, that's
Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm not sure how much.
fine. Yeah. That's no
we
problem. I'm
actually
just gonna
need.
write a note that Demeter went
I
shopping
mean,
for you
Raine
guys.
herself has 6K, so
Yeah, but for sure some Halloween supplies and for sure some Heroes Feast stuff.
Mm-hmm, that too.
And if we don't already have a shit ton of diamonds for any Revivify and stuff, we should get some of those
Yep.
too.
I do have diamonds for, I think at least, I have a couple for Revivify. I have at least 3. And then I have enough for Resurrection, Raise Dead, question mark. I can't remember which one is next above Revivify, so.
I think Ray's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then while all this is going down, Melanie will send a runner to go get her brother. Because I think that Raine was on board with her brother. Let me grab Mel's sheet because I don't remember his name. Anyway, her brother.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Ed
Yeah,
Sheeran, yeah.
that's right, is Ed Sheeran, I forgot.
We were gonna get the non-detection amulets, I think.
Yes, we should already have at least one.
Yeah.
I have one as well, so I don't mind giving it to. We should definitely put one on the Babby, and one on Shadok.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to put one on the person going with Shadok, and whoever's going with Trixy might also benefit from that too. So
Yeah. I think we have 3 from between Tilda, Theo, and Zaitari.
Yeah. So we should try to find one more. I know that they're very in demand though. Like nobles like having them, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're typically 4 times the cost of any, like, I believe they are considered like an uncommon magic item. They're usually at least 4 or 5 times the cost because the demand is so high.
Yeah.
So I've taken Hello, Word of Recall, and Guiding Bolt so far.
As an Eldritch Knight, would is there any chance that Thea would have access to anything that could do non-detection? Like that he could cast?
Let me see. I did not level him up, but he still should be fairly high level. I don't think he does. Most of his stuff is offensive or maneuverability.
Yeah, I mean
believe.
it makes sense. I just wasn't sure. Because I'm thinking that if we send somebody to Prim, since she
Ooh,
is a
yeah.
cleric, she could just cast the non-detection to keep that going, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Theo is offensive. primarily.
Rude.
Offensive, offensive and self buffing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you want or from Lyris?
Can he give us a non-detection amulet?
They.
Yeah.
They can. Let's see what they can do.
Sorry, my bad.
They can get you one immediately. It might take them a while to get some more because of how fast you want it. But they can provide.
I think we're
one.
only in search of one
Alright.
more.
Then
for the moment,
they will
so.
give them one that they happen to have in their bag of holding.
And then I
Just
just
have
want
him tip that out. Who knows what's in there now?
You know, right?
I just
Let
want
me
Lyris to be there
grab the bottom of that.
for the theory crafting too, since Lyris has experience with old ones. I want them to be there to see what they think of the idea too.
Yeah,
So before they leave.
they are fine, like sticking around and listening to what you have to say.
I might just have Theo and Trixie just like hole up in the estate. Because, like, I know it's kind of the expected place for them to be, but it's also a friggin' castle.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
defendable.
Yeah.
Where was Galloway unfrogified?
Galloway was unfrogified at the Allard Estate, which is, I
Mhm.
believe, more northwest of Leona.
I know we
Well,
hallowed
it's
that
in
chapel.
Yeah, I was
Leona,
gonna say
but
the Allard State has a hallowed spot.
Yeah. Be right back. I need to feed the cat.
Do you have access to 7th level cleric spells?
yes. I have.
Antipathy, sympathy?
It is not on here.
Or is that 8th level?
Nope.
I think that's a wizard thing
Is
only.
it wizard only?
I think so.
Hmm. Unfortunate.
I cannot find Mel's family tree to save my life. Apparently, her family is just miscellaneous names now.
Forever, Bob.
Basically. I think his name was Simon or Paul or something. It was real normal.
Ringo?
I don't think it was quite Ringo, but good try.
Yeah, antipathy/sympathy is a level 8 wizard spell.
Ah.
Which I have already chosen my wizard spells, so. Sorry.
I don't know why I for sure thought it was a cleric spell.
It seems like it
That's my
could be,
brain
but
Sounds
yeah.
like it should be.
Yeah, it's
like
it's
with
my
calm
brain
emotion.
being real bad. But
Don't worry about it.
it sounds like a cleric spell.
It does. Oh God.
well, I had cider and now I'm so hot. My house is just like on fire now. Ugh. One cider. Not even one whole cider. One half of a cider. And I'm just like, oh.
It's also
Alcoholic cider or
Oh yeah, hard cider. I did not include that detail.
I mean, it's pretty hot here, and you're obviously more south, so I imagine
Yep.
it's
It was
getting
hot as balls today, but our AC's been on all week, so
yeah. It's gonna be fucking 90 tomorrow. Like I was gonna the
Cold today.
farmers market that I usually go to has their opening morning tomorrow, and I was gonna go because I was like, oh, I can get some eggs, I can pick up some beer, maybe I'll get some cookies for the appointment, for like my tattoo appointment. But fuck that. I may be getting there early in the morning, but it's still gonna be hot as shit. I don't care.
Daryl.
yeah. We were gonna do Kelly was gonna do some stuff in the yard today, and he was just like, nah. It's too hot.
Are you
It
saying
was
that
cold
Melanie's
today.
brother's name is Daryl?
In the
Yep.
50s.
Hey, where'd you find that? Where'd you find it?
The session notes.
Oh. Okay.
I was gonna say
searched
almost
for
certainly.
Teagan.
I
searched for
did not
Teagan.
think to look at session notes.
I've returned.
we figured out what oh my god, Melanie. I'm like, I've just forgotten the name of the party character. Melanie's brother's name is
Oh.
Daryl,
Oh yeah, Daryl.
not Paul. Daryl is an aggressively normal name.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's why I chose it.
I just remember like the mom's name was supposed to be Olivia, but it was spelled wrong. You're like, nah, that's just what it is now. But that
Yeah.
didn't help me find it because I couldn't misspell it correctly.
Like, I remember even the images that I chose for them. Like, I remember that he looks like Ed Sheeran, but I was just like, I do not remember this kid's name.
I mean, I don't remember all of Rosamund's names, but at least I remember her first name.
Well, one, I've got 2 siblings. Oh, I forgot the number of them too. And I'm pretty sure the other one's name is Simon? ? And
No, that one's definitely Ringo.
it's definitely not Ringo. None of them are named Ringo. And also, they don't come into play nearly as often. So,
Let's see.
but Melanie will send a runner to go have Daryl come to the keep and kind of like give him the rundown and explain everything. And while she's doing that, she's gonna suggest that she and Raine go talk to Shattuck about her upcoming trip.
Okay, I found
Road trip.
the groundskeeper's name. Her name is Grenshi.
Okay,
She is
right,
a deep
Grenshi.
gnome. Yep.
She's
I decided to pull up my Google Drive.
It's a duke? Dude? What did you say?
She's a deep gnome?
Deep gnome. Okay, that's
She's a dude.
I was like, I did not, like I said, I just didn't hear exactly what you
Mm-hmm.
said.
It's sometimes really great when you know you didn't hear it right, but what you heard was just amazing.
Yeah, I'm like,
I know it's not right, but it's hella funny.
I mean, it wasn't that funny, but
A little.
Grinchy.
Okay. Do you want to talk to Shattuck now, or do you want to have that meeting with Lyris first? Or do you want to wait until more people arrive?
Mel would like to get Shattuck out ASAP. She
Okay.
wants to get Shattuck out before people start arriving.
Okay, sounds good.
The more people that show up, the greater the chance
Exactly.
that one of them has been an old one hiding amongst us the entire fucking time.
Not Not the whole time, just for the last like year. So just.
Okay. Yeah. Shylock's in her room, per usual. She has Moose with her.
I'm looking with all the fucking animals. Son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
You guys have a few animals.
A few.
Yeah.
I mean, a one-legged duck, a green ferret.
An entire tower full of cats.
Those are Stefan's.
Yeah. That's
For
not
now.
Shattuck's.
Yeah, that's his problem.
Hmm.
Don't forget for Shattuck's trip, Bear Friend's gonna be going with her.
Yeah.
So
Got a bear.
So we're gonna find Shattuck and say, darling, we need to speak with you about something kind of serious.
Oh, okay, Mom. Can Moose stay?
Yes, Moose can stay. And I will give Moose a pat.
Okay.
You should check Moose for sis.
He's already naked. I feel like I can do kind of a once-over. I'm not gonna shave the Almirage.
You just hold up the Almirage and you start like petting him everywhere.
That's how you get
Yeah,
stabbed
just
with
doing
an
a little
Almirage
deep
one.
tissue massage, trying to figure out,
Your excuse is, I just want to see where like Almirages like to get pet the best. Do they like the head? Do you like behind the ears? Do you like the bum pats like the cats do sometimes?
So I'll say, Shattuck,
Mhm.
I know that we've been gone a lot lately, but something pretty important has happened, and there's going to be some fairly dangerous things happening. And so, what we would like to do to make sure that you stay safe, is we're going to send you on an adventure of your own with your Uncle Daryl.
She looks slightly concerned. And then she looks a little sad. It's not because of me, right?
No, no, darling, no. There's some bad things that we have to deal with, and unlike some of the other things that we've had to deal with, this could actually come here instead of us going to it, and we want to make sure that no matter what happens, you're safe. So we want to have you go with your Uncle Daryl, and you're going to have a good time. You're going to travel around. You're going to see different places. It'll be so much fun. And then once everything's safe, you're going to come back and you're going to tell us all about it, because part of your homework while you're doing this is you're going to keep a travel journal so you can tell us about everything you did while you were on your own adventure. And remember, you've got that necklace that you can use to send sending to us, so you're able to send us a message. And you know that we just want you to be safe.
I mean, like, that sounds fun, but it's only for a little while, right?
Yes, darling. Just maybe a couple weeks. Or a little bit longer, maybe, but not very long.
It's a
And
little
I will make.
scary, isn't it, Shattuck? Hearing all this. But the best
Sorry,
way
I
you
was
can help
rolling. She was rolling an insight check on you.
Oh!
I think Raine's picking up on Shattuck's style.
Yeah.
She's like, let's not lie to the kid. Not lie, you know what I mean?
She kind of like looks at you, like, really looks at you and Raine. But it's very clear that she's having a very hard time, like, really reading you guys.
I'm gonna give her a big hug and pull her into my lap and say, you know that we want you to be with us all the time, but it's more important that you're safe. We want to make sure that nothing happens to you. It was so scary when you were taken away and we had to come and get you. I don't want anything like that to happen to you ever again.
When you're on this journey, you can kind of help us by listening to your Uncle Daryl. You're going to go with Bear Friend. And by doing this, we know it's going to make you sad, and it's making us sad. But it's really going to help us, especially if you can be on your best behavior most of the time. Can you do that for us?
There's like no way I can help you in any other way?
Once you're older, we know that you're going to be amazingly strong. And we know that you're going to be so talented and do so many things. But you're still very small right now. And, you know, the two of us, we aren't doing this sort of things until we were adults. You know, we want to make sure that you're safe until you're older and you can take care of yourself. But I know that you're going to be an amazing adventurer once you're a little bit older.
It's true. We know.
You can also bribe her by promising to get her an alpaca when she gets back.
Also, I heard that there was a rumor about an alpaca farm. And since, you know, while you're away, you're going to work on learning what to do with thread and yarn and things. And then when you come back, maybe we can find out more about how to take care of alpacas.
Does Uncle Darrow know how to spin wool?
He definitely does not. But you know what he would probably not know what to do and would love to learn is he probably doesn't know how to play kazoo. Do you think you could teach him while you guys are traveling?
She nods. Yeah. I think so. Okay. But only a few weeks. I want to come back soon.
I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I promise you, as soon as it's safe for you to come back, we'll bring you back right away. You know how we travel by magic sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
I bet we can come and get you through magic. It's very fun to travel that way. Or at least very fast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's okay to be sad. You don't have to like it, but we're only doing it because we have to. Because we want you to be safe.
I know. I love
Even
you.
though you were a very cute shark.
I love you both.
We love you.
And we'll make sure we get everyone to take care of all the animals while you're away.
So, Quackers has to stay here?
I don't think quackers would do well on the road.
Okay.
He'll be fine here, though.
Okay. And she hugs both of you.
It's true.
No.
We'll just get another duck, and if we have to cut off its leg,
Oh God!
that's what we have to do.
Jesus!
No, we'll just say that he magically
just say
got
it
his
grew
fucking
back.
leg back. Jesus.
Yeah, that
Oh
would
my
make a
God.
lot more
I don't have
sense. I feel
I
like
don't
that's a
have
lot
that
less
kind of magic.
violent to ducks.
Hey, we've all eaten turkey legs. It's a little extra food.
Oh, Jesus!
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Wow.
not a bad idea.
Okay.
I love it that this is the final thing that has broken everyone on me.
At this point, I guess we just make quackers into a lich.
That's true.
Raine
already
has the
have a-
unicorn horn powder.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of the supplies already, so
I
We've
mean, you
Just
have
need to
theorized-
find a
we've,
vampire.
We've theory crafted Darren's next BBEG, Quacker's the Lich.
Quacker's the Lich.
17 times I have been true polymorphed and had my leg cut off. And now...
It's fucking Doomsday. It's fucking Doomsday. Like, Doomsday's fucking story is when he was a baby, he was sent out in a fucking, like, inhospitable land. He died horribly. They keep on reincarnating him, and then he remembers each and every time he's lived, and then, yeah, that's his story. And then he becomes a monster and kills Superman. Crackers is Doomsday. Anyways, okay, so you have that talk with her. She's very sad, obviously. She's a little bit happy that she gets to go with Bear Friend, and she is bringing Moose with her.
That's fine.
Obviously.
Moose can travel.
Yeah.
Moose tried to fight off an invader. Moose can go wherever he wants.
No, you tell Moose no. I'm not telling him no.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think
fucking
we're
with Moose.
telling Moose no. He might, like, fucking stab us in our sleep.
That horn.
Anything else?
Do you think Almirages like shed their horns? You know, like
Like deer and stuff?
like deer? Yeah,
I assume it's a horn and not an antler, and that it was permanent.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
I view it as like kind of how unicorn. I don't think unicorns shed their horn. I think it just grows.
I was about to say, you know, saying that they're like unicorns
Yeah.
doesn't really help because unicorns are also
Like a
Not
rail.
real.
fictional.
Like a rail. It just keeps growing.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
kind of
maybe like a
thinking, like,
rhino
maybe,
or
yeah, they just have to kind of grind it down, that kind of thing.
yeah. Sorry, don't mind me. Just, you know, thinking about.
Theory crafting how Almirages work.
Mm-hmm. Just asking a real centaur.
Hmm. I'm not even. I have a theory, but let's not get into centaurs right now. And
Oh,
Chota.
I read about the theory on this. So the theory is that horses apparently don't bend over very well, and so they would probably suckle from the human nipples because it'd be easier to reach.
I was thinking
Oh.
about the human nipples too. Actually, yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, because all centaurs are drawn with human nipples, that means the human nipples are probably being used.
Hmm.
But, I mean, a lot of creatures have nipples but don't use them. I mean, male mammals have nipples and don't do anything with them, so...
Cis
Yeah,
man.
but there's no, as far as I know, there's no animal
Well-
with 2 sets of vestigial nipples.
That's true. I'm mostly thinking of, like, to my knowledge, dolphins don't have gender identity, so I'm just thinking of, like, the physiological aspect of that. Like, I'm thinking all mammals.
Cursed option. There is no suckling to be done. Centaurs feed their young like birds.
No!
Oh,
No!
I
That is the
love
cursed
that.
option.
That's great.
And there are like
No,
other
no.
ungulates too. That okay? Never mind. Nope. We're going. Nope.
Actually, excellent that our sessions are being preserved for all time on YouTube.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right?
We're gonna end up as a footnote in some cultural discussion.
Okay. So Tilda.
When centaurs are finally made real through genetic engineering, we'll have
Hmm.
called
People used to
exactly how
think-
they, this niche D&D show on YouTube understood exactly how centaurs were going to.
No, we
feed
get
their
really
young.
big after we die. It's like, well,
Mhm,
that's not
mhm.
Tilda, did you
I
want to
always
talk to
knew
Theo
it-
about bringing Trixie to the Lorelei estate?
No, I want to talk about this.
Okay.
I know I knew I'd be famous
Please,
after I
God,
died.
talk about anything else, groups. Anyone.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to roleplay it if, because I don't imagine that Thea will argue too much
No.
when it's like, hey, please take our child to our other home, our usual home, and just like really hole up there. Make sure she is protected, make sure you stay safe, make sure everybody stays safe, etc., etc.
Yeah, he's not gonna argue. Okay, so I think you guys wanted to theory craft this soul splitting thing with Lyris.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Eva's been doing a lot of research in the downtime. That's the only thing she's been doing. Because she thinks splitting the soul is a good idea, but she was really concerned about if you split the soul, if you don't split it deliberately, then the pieces of the souls are still going to be really, really powerful and potentially dangerous on their own. And
Wait, can we have Alexandria here as well? Like, at
Yeah.
least in the form of the soul gem.
Yeah, I mean,
Soul Gem
Zaitari, you'll
boy.
have to hold the soul gem.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
Other than that,
Yeah, Lyris, Alexandra, and then all of you guys.
I'll be the stone interpreter.
Okay. So that was Aoife's biggest concern, is if we just split it, then the pieces are still going to be very powerful and potentially very dangerous. So she was looking at different ways to split a soul, and she actually went back to her roots with ki in the monastic traditions. Because with ki, there are 6 different types, and you need all 6 together to be like an entity, a living entity. You can't just take out one part, one type of ki, and still be functional. Even if one ki is like off balance, then you're not doing well. So her theory is that if we can split old ones into their 6 keys and store them in demi-planes that are basically fueled by the ley line vertices where magic is the strongest, then we would at least be able to split it into 6 pieces that are not functional by themselves until all 6 are together.
Basically pulling them apart like they did the dragon sphere was taken apart, where you have to get all the pieces.
Exactly. And this way too, people can't just get their hands on a part of an old one and then get a power boost, because just ancestral ki is useless. It needs to be with all the others. So that would at least be a way to minimize that, because then it's not worth going after it unless you're going after all 6.
Lyris says
Super complex.
I mean, Lyris says, like, that's actually not a bad idea. I'm not sure how that would work. My experience with Ode Ones are limited, other than the gods of my realm had attempted, but they killed one and he does the exploding motion with his hands.
Mm-hmm.
As far as soul manipulation goes, I know only how to manipulate kind of a whole soul. I've never actually seen or tried to split one myself, and I don't know if old one souls work the same way.
Do old ones even have souls?
See, ki is not souls, though. Ki is just, the living energy that runs through anything that consumes to stay alive.
They definitely consume, says Lyris. That's for certain.
Fair enough.
So it's not a soul necessarily. It's pulling. It's more of like the infrastructure. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can cripple a city by collapsing their sewers. And the same way here, it's you can cripple an entity by removing their upright key.
Does Alexandria have any opinions on this?
Alexandria is listening and says, "That's not a bad idea. I'd love to like test this further by experimentation, but we probably don't have the time for that."
Should we talk to Belzor and Lynn about this?
It's like
They're
I can
on their
give
way,
you guys
aren't they?
rundown. I think we told Belzor, yeah.
I did not, but we
Okay.
can.
I think we should. I can give you guys a rundown of key and like where it is on the body and the different functions and stuff, so you have a better idea of what Aoife's talking about. But it's 6 types. It's located in different organs / areas / concepts. And key manipulation, we know in D&D key manipulation is a real thing. There's a whole class about it. So
Lyra says that does mean you'll have to have I assume that means you have to have the old one in one place for a while in order to do this manipulation of key.
That's my guess too. I don't know how we are going to extract it. I'm just proposing like the foundation starting point so we can start working on the specifics.
Yeah, unfortunately, Raine, actually. You there? Or is Pupper acting up?
Or his stomach.
Any of the above, possibly.
You're muted, by the way, if you're talking.
I will say, assuming that this is the next day, Zaitari will, because she was also out of sendings anyways.
I'm gonna feed the pepper. I'll be ready in a minute or two.
Yep.
She'll send a sending to Belzor about, hey, stuff's happening. Can you get to the keep, or do we need to come to you? And then something,
They'll try to get to you guys via circle of teleportation through
Okay.
Valito. They'll try to be there as soon as possible.
Sounds good.
Yeah, the main problem, not Lyra, Alexandra says as well. I mean, if it can be done, it can be done, but it sounds like it'll take a while, and I don't think an old one's gonna just let you do this.
Really?
I don't think an old one's going to let us do anything we come up with.
Yeah.
But we have people in this group who are very, very good at being hard to hit while hitting very hard.
Also, they've been bound before. The people in Colta apparently have done something that had maybe bound one. If we could bind it while we were working on it, not bind it into some sort of extra dimensional place, but actually almost like incapacitate it instead of binding it, then possibly that would give us that time we would need to do what we needed to do.
Alexander just says yes. There has been one that has been bound before, though I don't know the logistics of it. It's the one controlled the not controlled, but manipulated the Minotaur civilization into doing its will.
Yeah,
we have some contacts that we're reaching out to that probably have some more information. Also, we're almost definitely going to have to travel to Incolta, so.
And like for people like myself and Belzor and anyone who's trained in the monastic traditions and with key manipulation, we do it pretty fucking quickly,
Also, if we were to, it's possible that we could have maybe if you and Belzor took your knowledge of key and then Raine and our beloved Tilda took their knowledge of the clerical arts and the wizardly arts, we could possibly come up with some sort of inter like a pieces all working together for one goal. Smush it all together like a pot pie.
Collaboration.
Yes.
Such a way with words.
Raine.
That was Lynn. That was not Mel.
Okay,
No, I know. It's fine.
I see you've returned from the
Yes.
feeding of the dog. Okay. When they mention like trapping in Ode One, you do hear a voice that says in your head that says, "Well, I haven't trapped an Ode One, but I've trapped a god before. Maybe it could work the same way."
This gym guy or
This is your Avandra
Or-
relic.
okay.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I thought it was
sound
Kismet.
teenage. Yeah, it didn't sound teenage and pouty to me, so I wasn't sure.
Not so much pouty, but still teenagery.
Yeah. Well, you gonna give me a little more to go on than that?
Yeah,
I
of
think I'm pretty
course.
good.
I mean, if this world is destroyed, I'm kaputs too, so I might as well help you at this point.
Yeah.
It's where we live.
Honestly, and this is probably like the most exciting thing that's gonna
Exactly,
like,
it's
that's
like, oh
happened,
my
that's
God, we're
happened to her for the past like year and a half.
It's like we're gonna do something. Yes. I was part of the group that bound Turog to another plane.
Ooh.
Targ?
Turog, the king witch that crawls.
Yeah, the crawling chaos.
Oh.
Yes. That's actually what Eagle Eye and her group did before they retired.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Chained Oblivion and? No, that's not.
That's Therizin.
No, I think. Yeah, I think it's literally the crawling chaos and
Yeah.
in
Critical
Exandria
role
terms.
terms.
Yeah.
Yes. But an old one might be a little more difficult. From what I'm hearing, it's like more powerful than a god or something like that, or just, I don't know.
Well, we're
But-
gonna have to compare some notes, and I will speak up to the group. So Avandra's champion, Relic, thinks that they might have something to contribute, considering that they help with Torag. I'm sure they'll give me plenty of clear instructions on that as we continue forward. I meant it's just a silent.
There's just they start to explain when they were with their group. It consisted of somebody willing the relic of Bahamut, Ayun, Melora. They were tasked with imprisoning Turog. Apparently there was a plot that he was trying to enact to kill Coralon. And they put a stop to that. For them, it involved constructing a divine chain, which took a very long process to gather the ingredients and get the blessing from each one of their individual gods. Though Avandra's relic does say there is a rumor that there was a group of Einfellow that's what they were called, that were the ones that took down an old one, but she does not know anything about that process.
That's very that's also related to what was happening in the Feywild, right? There was something about them. Like I know that came up in relation to Zaitari at some point.
Yeah. So Abominator's Relic explains that the group she was part of, Eagle Eye, and and the 3 others that she traveled with were known as Einfeldir, which translates to God Hunters.
That's
Well,
it. Yep.
But apparently they weren't the original ones. There was a group before them, many eons ago, that they had heard of who did something very similar.
Maybe Ishalia will know about this since she's actually very old and from a different time period.
Yeah, could this be a legend lore thing too?
If it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. Sorry. If it's a new day, then I can say I prepared legend lore and do it, but sorry. But yeah.
But yeah.
I'm also wildly looking through my spells, trying to figure out like
And
what do I have
Belzar,
that.
yeah, Belzar and Lynn were involved with that.
Yep, and they were,
Maybe
they
yeah,
had
one of their
many,
past
many
lives.
lives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm actually gonna send a quick sending to Ishalia. And ask, are you familiar with the Einfeldir from ages past, relevant to current discussion regarding old ones? P.S. When will you be here?
We'll be there in about 3 days. Trying to hurry. I don't know much about them,
Damn it.
unfortunately.
Damn. Worth a shot.
If you want to be at the next day, we can fast forward to the next day, and this discussion could be taking place the next day.
Yeah.
I think it was because
I wouldn't have been
Zaitari
able to
didn't
send
have
any
any.
sendings
Yeah.
without it. Yeah.
I will say, in theory, with this key thing too, we just need to extract one, and then it should be the old one should be like stunned, incapacitated, or something, while we extract the rest. In theory.
With it being an old one, I would bank on us needing to extract at least 2 before it was truly be easy to deal with.
And we would need some sort of old magic, most likely, to even affect it at all.
Where are you guys talking?
In the war room?
Okay.
War room.
There's a knock on the door.
Okay.
Who is it?
It's me, Chambers. She comes through. She peeks her head through the door. Hello. There is a switch here to see you. I left her and her group at the foyer.
Oh, that was fast.
Should I tell them to wait there?
Yes, we need to examine them.
Okay, sounds. I will let them know. She scurries off quickly.
So I suppose, did we delegate that to Nenrine, I guess?
Nenrine's TSA. Nenrine's gonna be TSA for the keep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we still need to be on guard in case shit goes down. So.
Yeah, I think it would be better if it was us and not Nenrine. But I would like to get this legend lore out of the way, which I'm going to take the out of my.
If Nenrine can handle the detect magic, I'll go with Raine and help with the physical examinations.
Okay.
And then I will give her advantage.
I'll go and just be backup if we need physical intervention.
All right.
No, we'll do the same.
Sounds good. Yeah, they're waiting in the foyer.
Abandoned me. Nice.
Hold on the fort.
You're with a celestial being that can cast wish.
Fair enough.
That's true.
Okay.
And I assume you explained what needs to be done to them.
Nope, we're just doing it without any warning. No.
No foreplay.
Nope, none.
No, we explain.
Yeah, no, of course
No,
we'll
not enough
explain
time.
that
We
it's like
sum up.
it's old one related. Like, there's a way that they can corrupt you, that kind of thing. You know, we need to check for physical signs and symptoms of corruption. That kind of. I feel like that's enough, and they
Okay.
probably understand.
They understand. They're not gonna. Yeah. Roll investigation. Who's ever doing it? And then Raine will have detect magic up.
I'll give you bardic inspiration as well, because why not?
D10.
12. One day you'll remember. It's the highest it can possibly be. It can't get any higher.
A D100. Yeah.
Oh man, if that was the bard capstone, I wouldn't have multi-classed.
Yeah. They seem like they're clean.
Checks up.
Hey, wonderful. Welcome to our keep.
Very cozy, says Switch.
Wait till you see the baths.
Did anybody else come with Switch, or is it just Switch in this?
It's Switch,
This group?
it's San, it's and the other three that were with her. The I put in quotes the Air Genasi bard, the elf wizard Binta, and their paladin, whose abilities were a little different than what you've encountered from other paladins.
Mm-hmm.
So, Switch says, what did you need us for? What was so important?
It's a long story. I'm going to grab Sand by the elbow and pull him aside and start explaining to him my theory real quick, because he's also a monk.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and we'll explain everything that's going down.
Okay.
You know, old ones. Briefly, we time traveled, had to get back. We were attacked by an old one while we were there. That was a surprise. That kind of stuff. Cliff Notes version.
Okay, yeah. They're sitting there listening to you with great interest.
Oh, and also that, like, obviously an old one is extremely active in Inculta, which is why we need to get there with the Dragon Sphere.
In Inculta?
Didn't you say that they were in Inculta?
No, their body was in the Tomb of Scarlet Waters. That place.
Yeah, the Temple of Scarlet Water is in
Temple.
Tamaran, which is in Robur.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the Lich one. I thought the one that
Lanx, you went to Lanx. That's
Lanx,
in the middle of the
that's
ocean.
It. Okay.
Like right dead center, like between the two continents.
Yeah, I just can't remember the different island in places we haven't been names.
Inculta is the country to the south that no one has gone to.
Yeah, I just thought
supposedly.
one of them was there in hiding.
Okay.
So.
But they will listen to this, and Switch will say, well, that's very concerning. What do you need from us? Other than helping you in some way with this world-ending catastrophe, possibly.
I mean, definitely help with the world-ending catastrophe would be very grateful. What does San think about the key idea?
San says, I've never. I mean, it's possible if we can hold an old one in one place for a time being. That's going to be very difficult.
It will be, but I'm gonna be honest with you. What I'm thinking is probably gonna end up happening is it's gonna be everybody else's job to hold them there, and it's gonna be up to us and like Belzor and Lynn to do the extraction.
So, Binta will pipe up and say, well, it depends on how you think you're going to hold something as large as a city in place.
I think we could probably attempt to do the Lich one first. I imagine its body is not as big? I don't know, though.
Most major O1s, Binta says, are very large. They have the capabilities of shrinking themselves down, but their original bodies are of Titan proportions.
Demiplanes.
Maybe we can force it to
I
be
doubt
small?
Aoife read about this, but Amlock knows about the demiplanes inside of an astral dreadnought and how they are a finite size. Now, how we're going to force feed an old one to an astral dreadnought, I don't know.
I feel like at that point we're making it way more complex than it needs to be. Jesus.
Yeah, but that kind of thing, like that's a finite containment area.
I have a question for all of you. Are you, those who have relics, are you all wearing yours out in the open?
Yeah.
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 It'd be pretty hard to not notice mine at this point.
Okay. Ro, are you?
I'm not there. I'm doing a legend lore
Oh,
commune thing.
okay.
Casting time 10 minutes.
Where are you legend loring again?
I don't remember.
The Iron Feladier of the olden times.
Them. Yep.
Okay. Give me a moment then. I'm going to send you a couple of things.
I had assumed, though, the conversation and everything was back in the war room.
Yeah.
Binta does say your idea is actually a really good one.
Not bad for someone who can barely write, right?
All right, so give me a second. I'm sending you something, Ro.
Zaitari was also going to ask them if they knew anything about the Iron Feladier of old as well. So, you know.
They're gonna look. The most of the group looks at Binta, and Binta says, "You could say we do."
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We are them.
No.
Oh man, that would be crazy. That would also be like a holy shit thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Give me a second.
You can take as many seconds as you need,
Yeah.
Darren. It's okay.
Yep.
No, you've only got 7 more, man.
Mhm.
Go, go, go.
If you don't do it in 7 seconds, we all leave the call.
Mm. It's like when your teacher is not there at the right at exactly
Yeah,
at the time your class
exactly.
starts. Oh, if they're
You're
not
just
here
counting
within
down the
15
minutes and waiting for them
Yeah.
to not show up so you can like technically leave.
You could totally leave if they're not here after like 15 minutes. Right. Yes, that's definitely a rule. That is definitely a thing.
This in another document. I will find that document.
I will say that on our campus, there was literally a policy if the professor didn't show up after 20 minutes, you could leave. So.
Yeah, same. And then we had some professors write in specific things in their syllabus saying, I ignore that rule. If you leave, if I'm not there for the first 45 minutes of class and I show up on minute 46 and you're gone, I'm marking you absent.
I did not ever have a professor say that, like in their syllabus. But there was one that specifically noted, I think because of some, I'm not exactly sure of the reason, but she had specifically noted, like, after I am not there, after 15 minutes, you can leave and it is totally fine. It was like one of my sociology or psychology teachers, so I don't know.
Oh, the stats teachers were just lunatics who loved suffering. So
because
they
it's
were
math.
stats teachers.
Yeah, they're stats teachers.
Yeah, exactly. But those are the ones with like I can show up 45 minutes late, and if you're not there, you're the absent one.
Yeah.
Because of course they were.
They got a power trip somehow.
They're stats teachers.
Mm-hmm. Can't get it anywhere else.
Mm. I don't think that was actually a rule on campus when at my college. I think it was a sort of, it was like a rumor that was just consistently told,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, look, I'm at least gonna wait 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If they're still not here, okay, fine. You know, most of my classes were like same day, you know, so I had to be there anyway. But it's like, I'll just.
It's weirdly better to do the whole 15-minute rule or whatever than to walk all the way across campus. And it's like a 45-minute walk because of fucking mountains, and you get to the classroom door and you go to open it up and there's like a little sticky note on it that says, Professor B's class canceled.
Pissed me off so much when they would do that shit. It's like, why didn't you just send an email?
Just email me.
Nowadays, I'm sure they do. This was like 2004 and 2005 when it was me, so.
Mine was like 2012, so there was no excuse.
Yeah.
They should definitely have been emailing at that point.
Yeah, that only happened to me once, but I also checked my email because I'm like, let me just make sure. And there was also an email there. But I also lived on campus, so it wasn't that big of a deal. That's fucking miserable, though.
Yeah, I lived on campus. Our campus is just giant because we're on a mountain, so it's all uphill.
Oh, yeah.
I had to walk uphill both ways.
You want a good workout? Meatloaf,
I'm
shut
sure.
up. If you want a good workout, just walk up like a
Romeo.
This is Meatloaf.
Oh my god.
No, that's Meatloaf, yeah.
Yeah. Just a 4-degree incline at 7,000 feet elevation. It's awful. It feels awful. But your lungs will be stronger than everyone else at sea level. It's a guarantee.
Okay. Where was I?
Einfeldier.
Einfeldier. Binta says she knows something about that. Right. Okay.
I might have another source we could go to as well, but Please, tell us more.
We know about them because the old one they locked away is in Inkalta.
And what's its name?
Yabink.
Yablink.
Yabink.
Yeah.
Yabink.
Yes, Yabink.
I'm seeing an L.
Yes.
Yablink.
Yeah, blink. I say blink, but I know there's no N in there.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just the way I've always pronounced it. Yeah.
Yablik.
They locked away that one in Inkalta many eons ago.
Is that one still secure?
It's still secure, because that one is actually quite known in our scholarly circles.
Could we use that one to test containment things on? Is it secure enough for that?
Possibly. We would probably have to talk to the council about that, which
Man, you want to release an old one? Because this is how you release an old one.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
This is how you get amps.
Unless there is a very thorough plan in place, I don't know if they will grant us access to that particular old one.
Which is totally fair and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's been locked away since the original Einfella there placed him in there. So that's going to be difficult.
Can we get information about how he was locked away? Because if our theory doesn't work, then at least what's happening there, it's been working for centuries. So it's apparently fairly secure.
We don't know how he was locked away.
Well, would somebody know?
Unless you have contact with the original four Einfella deer.
Really seems like they should have kept records of this, but
You see the air genasi said you'd think so, but he's kind of like,
do you have their bodies? Like, were they buried somewhere?
rumor has it, says the air genasi's name, who is Daiwo, says rumor has it that most of them became gods.
well, then they're still around. We could just commune with them somehow.
Oh, one of them was murdered.
Okay,
By
well, not
the
that one, then,
other.
I guess.
The other three might still be around. Possibly. I don't know any active worship that takes place with the other three.
Well, if they need a follower, I'm affiliated. I'll worship them.
Do we know their names?
I can help with that.
Wonderful.
As Tilda brushes into the room, just like, ha! Perfect timing as always.
Tamara, Crassus, Miliki, and Sindor. And if memory serves, the Nightwell family are descended from Miliki, allegedly.
Interesting.
So it may be time to pay some old friends a visit.
So,
Am I remembering that right?
yes,
DM?
you are remembering
Okay.
that right.
Yeah. Like, I can't find that in my notes, but I remember it because I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. You know, Michael, Nightwell, Michelle, Nightwell, Miliki, you know, kind of similar.
I would never have put that together and remembered it that way. That would have fallen right out of my poor little brain.
I'm a name nerd. Those things stick there
Um,
sometimes.
Binta says Your idea, she's looking at you, Aoife, is actually a
There we go.
is actually a really good one. Reason being, if we can split them, that actually might be viable for somehow getting rid of them through another way. A way that we were afraid of using on Blink.
Yeah. And it's not their soul we're splitting, so I'm hoping that also will help minimize splash damage, so to speak.
Tilda, is your Shards of the Dawn
What
out?
was the name of
Yes.
the guy who came and like came at us with his guy? Was his name like Kerchow or something when we were time traveling?
What?
Ya Ankh Met.
Oh wow, I was way off. So Ya Ankh Met, have we heard anything about him in this time?
You have not.
Yeah, I only recognized the name, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because I've read the book.
You've read the book containing the Ode One names, but you have not
Mm-hmm.
encountered anybody else associated, as far as I know.
So you know that the Shards of Dawn are part of my new hairpiece. Like
Yeah.
that's how I wear my hair now. So
Yeah.
yes and no.
Yeah. Binta is kind of like looking at your hairpiece a little bit nervously.
Not a
Can I
problem.
catch her eye and like
Yeah.
raise an eyebrow and they sort of, can I help you? Sort of look.
She kind of like looks to the rest of her party, and like you see Switch's eyes follow her eyes to your hairpiece, and she's gonna mouth. You see her mouth to Binta in another language, and Binta kind of just sighs.
Is it a language I recognize?
Nope.
Fuck.
I don't have observant, but I do understand all languages, including Druidic now.
She mouths it. She like kind of like in a lip reading way. She doesn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
I
look around the room and
secrets among allies.
Is there something on my face?
No, there's
in
nothing.
my hair.
No, there's. What do you all know about circles of transformation? Says Binta. Do you know anything
I assume that's an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Boop. That's terrible, but
roll
23.
a wisdom check. Just a plain wisdom check.
Okay.
All right. It sounds familiar, but you're not entirely sure.
Sounds familiar.
Circles of transformation, Binta says, are devices powered by old magic that were utilized by some old ones. What they did was being would enter said circle and literally become reincarnated in front of your eyes into something else.
Andy, I suppose?
Not exactly. Most old ones did this to feed off of the pain that took place during their transformation.
Weird kind of coinkydink. I was looking at the map of Scarlet Water Temple handout. Do we still have that somewhere in our inventory?
I don't know.
Can we say that we do have it?
Sure.
And then I can whip it out and do they look like these? And I'll point to the top of the map where it says "Do not step in circles"?
Yeah. Yeah. Binta says yes. That is a circle of transformation. That is a smaller one than what I'm about to explain to you. So, what do you know about the war between the Old Ones, the gods, and the Primordials? The Dawn War. Do you know anything about that?
Isn't that when a plane disappeared?
No. Lyra says, we didn't. That. No.
32 on my history check.
You know there
Stop
was like.
making me roll things.
You know there
Just
was
tell
like
me.
a huge war. They're like the beginning of time. But that's about all you really know. There
Not
was
much
like
recorded history on that war, darlings. So why don't you just tell us about it?
when the Old Ones first entered our world, there was a huge war between the gods and the Primordials versus the Old Ones. And the battle was at a standstill when that happened. Zai, the most powerful of the Old Ones, disappeared one day. Just either left his plane or got imprisoned or something happened to him. Nobody knows how that happened. Sometime later, the god Pelor entered the battlefield and was able to turn the war against the Old Ones in their favor, and the rest of the gods and primordials were able to push back the Old Ones, most of them going into a deep sleep at this point. There is many years prior to my entry in the arcane, in the upper echelons of academia, there was a theory going around that the disappearance of Zai and the appearance of Pelor were somehow related.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you saying Pelor's an old one?
You slowly see Binta nod. That is the theory. And it would be wild speculation, but and not too many people know about this, but about a year ago, my mentor, Shalt, individual named, let me get his name out. There it is. Wrong document. Other wrong document. Right document. My mentor, who is an archaeologist named Shah Wuti, believes he has found the circle of transformation, which may have turned Zai into Pelor.
But what would be the point of turning Zai into Pelor? Because Pelor has been around for centuries and doesn't seem to be doing any old one things. I mean, are we saying that these circles of transformation turn an old one into something benign, powerful, but not old one evil shitty anymore?
Circles of transformation, when a person enters a circle of transformation and comes out, they have no knowledge of their previous life.
So this theory is that Pelor was once an old one that got transformed, had no memory of being a crazy evil thing, and then just decided to say, fuck it, let's be the god of light and redemption and shit.
The transformation is also random as well. And if we do believe that circles of transformation do follow the theory of equal energy input and output, anything that enters a circle of transformation has to have its output equal to what entered, it would make a lot of sense.
The problem is we couldn't count on that ever happening again if it's random. I mean, we could come out with some sort of, god of snot.
That's why I think your friend's idea is a good one.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't think Zai went in willingly. I think he was betrayed.
Yeah, well, there was that one god of rebirth who seemed like they would do, or that old god of rebirth who seems like they would do shitty things like that.
Yeah, the old ones did not really believe in teamwork.
Yeah, they seem like assholes. So.
That's why I think your friend Aoife's idea is actually a very good idea. If we could then take each part, and then we wouldn't have to worry about something the god of snot she, gestures to form out of an old one. They would be significantly, if they're split, they would be significantly less powerful. Even if we get a demigod, that's a lot better than having a major god of evil on our hands. So I think that's actually a brilliant idea. We just have to execute it.
We have a couple more monks, Belzor and Lynn, are coming over too. And I figured
I'll be here in a couple days.
Once they're here, the four of us, and I gesture to Sen as well, and it's like, we can start working on actually how to extract the different kinds of key. I don't think that's been done. We know how to interrupt it. That's how we stun people and stuff. But how to actually extract, I think the four of us are going to have to work together on that.
Hey there, sorry. Did you get my message?
Yeah, I got some of them. Hold on. Yes, okay. I got your message.
Okay. I'm just curious what the response is. So. Okay.
San says we could go to a couple of we could go to a couple of the monasteries in Inkalta and borrow a few items that might enhance our power if we're going to do this.
I think that will be useful, because the only ideas I have are not going to go well for those of us who are doing the extracting.
I think that we should pay a visit to Lady Nightwell and see if maybe we could somehow commune with her ancestor with her help.
That's Lord Nightwell, Lady Ashenfell.
Oh, apologies. I've only met them a couple times.
Yep. It's fine, darling.
Tilda.
Yes?
Actually, let me think who is there. Raine, Zaitari.
I remember. Are you talking about the tapestry that was in there?
No, I'm talking about something else. Raine, Zaitari, Tilda. Roll just a regular wisdom modifier.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
And I use my 17 from my...
Sure, you can. If you want to use your 17, go ahead.
First number's the real number anyway.
Okay.
Just a wisdom check, then?
Yeah, just a wisdom check.
I'm going to use the 17.
Okay. What would that bring you up to?
19.
19?
Yeah.
So you remember two other things. The Allard family is rumored to have the blood of Cinder coursing through their veins.
Of course they are.
Also, you do remember there was also a noble family that was killed because they were considered godbloods of Tamara.
I remember that.
Considered God bless it. Oh, the Freeborns.
Mm-hmm.
Consort of Bahamut. Okay. Right. Okay. Because I did post something from my notes in the chat here. Speak with Dead on Lord Freeborn, which was done in 2018. So if you guys don't remember this, completely understandable.
Good.
No,
Um,
I do vaguely
but
recall
they were
this.
the Freeborns, I believe, were the family that Raine got framed for their murder.
Yeah.
And so Lord Freeborn actually wasn't dead. Until I think we killed him. And yeah, what purpose did their murder serve? To feed the Great One, which then, by some role, I presume, the Elder God with the most power was Zai, but Zai disappeared. Must have been known as the Great One. Dragon blood for the dragon makes it stronger.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is because it was cultist related, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember talking to the dead cultists about this, and that's how we got these answers.
Oh yeah, what do you know? In my notes, Allard family is possibly descended from some long dead god Sindor, god of time and continuity.
Oh, Galloway killed him.
No, but we should have known that that was where Galloway would be heading. Time and continuity.
This web that you have constructed for us, Darren,
Is insane. Yeah.
it's like we're finally getting like answers to all these pins of like red string that we have on this like massive corkboard that we've had assembled over the years.
I was actually getting to be okay. So a little peek behind the curtain. I was actually getting really stressed out about like the end game. So I sat down with Brandon and told him I word vomited everything I had been planning, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and he's like, you know exactly what you're fucking doing. So yeah. Hopefully, I think I know what I'm doing.
Sometimes you just gotta talk the spaghetti into
It's
order.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking breadcrumbs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we need to try to talk to one of these people. I think that the Maliki, since you're friends with the person, would probably be the easiest one to start with, especially because Galloway is currently like 12.
Yeah.
So
He's a baby. We could talk to the Allard family. The elders, you know, the parents. But
they could be our second stop.
mm-hmm. Alrighty. What else do I have in my damn notes here?
But Binta says, but of course, you know, the threat of the Old Ones is a threat to everybody. So we will try to help you all as much as we can.
Magic tattoos?
You're gonna have to come to Inkalta for that, which San has gotten. Will probably with this new development will probably be able to get you permission for entry into the country.
What kind of art items are you going to be getting from your monasteries to help with this?
San says we have a fair number of relics that we've had passed on from Grandmaster to Grandmaster over generations. Hopefully some things. I'm not very. I don't really. I don't have any much direct interaction with a few of those, but I do know there are a couple which can greatly expand your key pool, which sounds like it's what we're going to need.
Out of curiosity, because I think it came up at some point, and I just don't remember, what type of monk is San?
He is what
Kinsei, right?
He's not quite Kinsei. It's an art you've never really seen before.
Kensai adjacent?
Probably Kensai adjacent. If you ask San directly, he calls himself a Zen archer.
Oh, that's right. I do remember him saying that before.
Yeah. Which is a totally different. Which is a different school than a school you haven't encountered yourself, Aoife.
Yeah. Yeah. The only grandmasters I know are Belzor and Lynn. And they've already got their own relics. So do you think you can get the Grandmasters from Inkalta to join the fight?
Sounds like they're going to have to if this threatens the entire world.
Just out of curiosity, this Zen archer style, is it in any relation to either Cao Guoju or Han Zhangzi? Literally just going through my notes. Gods dedicated to monk styles. Cao Guoju, a mortal who became a god, and Han Zhangzi, depicted with a flute?
No, those are drunken masters.
Yeah, those are drunken masters.
I see.
Yeah.
Then never mind.
Yeah. Those are
two that I studied.
Yep. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, those were the two drunken gods that I specialized in before I was like, you know what, fuck drunken technique, and I grew extra arms.
Fair enough.
Oh, and I'll just briefly update Sen on the situation with the Drunken Technique Monastery. So that should the Incultan Grandmasters ever need to reach out to it, it's probably not going to be up and running and functional for the next 50 years. Just so that they are aware.
I mean, he's not too worried. He does say, well, other than people like us, kind of gestures to his group, Inkalta doesn't have much. The people of Inkalta don't have much communication with the rest of the world, anyways.
Why is that? Does it have to do with that whole old guard nonsense, or is it just a cultural thing?
You see Binta kind of sigh.
If it's old god related, we kind of need to know, so that's why I'm asking.
It's not old god related.
Isn't it elf blood war related?
It's elf. Binta says,
Yeah.
I might as well explain my side of the story.
Yeah, we've heard one side of the story. I'm curious to know the other.
Right. Ishalia isn't exactly kind on the people in Kalta, and I don't exactly blame her. Even though it was a very long time ago and it was my ancestors. Many years ago, I gotta get my timeline out, sorry. Right. Many years ago, after the rule of the dragons, and the mortal races began to establish themselves, and before the elven lands put up their iron curtain, so to speak, there was a band of Incultans who actually sailed to the elven lands and attempted to form a peaceful diplomatic relationship with them. And things were going very well. Unfortunately, and nobody knows exactly what happened, one of our ambassadors, an elven prince, died. And each side blamed the other. Because of this, what became the War of the Wilds began. And Inculta and the Elven lands, which included Dorenathel and Nanonlyre, began to fight with each other. Unfortunately, the Incultan government saw that this would lead to great casualties on our side, and they wanted to end the war quickly. So, against their better judgment, they released a plague upon the Elven lands, which ended up decimating a third of their population. We withdrew. We withdrew, and we subsequently withdrew from the rest of the world because, well, the explanation that I was told was we didn't want something like this to happen again.
That's a little fucked up.
And then they withdrew themselves too, distrusting strangers, which I don't exactly blame them, but over many, many years, it became the society you knew today.
So basically, all kinds of people were shitty, and now people hate each other. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And that's when people like us come in. So eventually my government wants to reintegrate themselves in society, but we were sent to just let them know what's going on in the world. They make the decision whether they should reveal themselves or not.
I can't remember. Did we ever ask you what you wanted to use your wish for? Should you have won the tournament?
You didn't ask us.
Seeing as it's over now, would you mind sharing?
We honestly didn't know at the time. We were merely sent to watch to gauge the strength of all of you and to gauge the strength of the exalted ones.
Sent? By whom?
By our government.
And what interest did your government have in us? I can understand the exalted ones.
Well, you are two parties that currently carry relics of gods.
So we're exactly the same as the exalted. Like we're literally the same party.
Yeah.
With relics and the same personality archetypes. We are the same thing. I'm not wrong.
So
I disagree, but
basically it's eventually
we had nothing to do with Inculta beforehand.
No. Basically, it just determined who we wanted to interact with more if something like this was to ever happen. And that's why we tried to get here before the others did.
Well, be popular.
You see, you hear San say, to be honest, I don't really want to work with someone who believes in, like, uniting the populace under tyranny.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not going to let her do that. So, you don't got anything to worry about there. Do you think I can go with you to talk to your grandmasters? It might be helpful if I'm, because it's my theory. It might be helpful if I'm there to help explain it.
I think eventually all of you will have to come with us, especially if we're going to enact it, if we want to eventually enact your plan with the old one, and then perhaps use
Get magic tattoos? Huh?
You can
Darling, let it go for now. We have more important things.
get.
It can help.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It could probably
Exactly.
help you. San was working on getting you guys in anyways. With this explanation, it's probably going to be a lot quicker.
How much quicker?
Probably in a week's time.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. Usually it takes months because of like Binta Wave's issues. But
Really quickly, I just want to double check. So, we need all the help we can get, regardless of policy, things that people want to do later on, like ruling countries. But are you all willing to work with the Exalted temporarily to get rid of this old god mess, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want later? Like, I don't really care after all this is done. But
Switch says I'm willing to.
I'll look at San.
San says I've never had a problem with anybody. It might be the issues between us and, well, it was Ashalia's people who did pass on because of our collective mistakes.
Past is in the past. We need to make sure that this is I just want to make sure that we can work as a team now. Even if it's temporary.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna need all the help we can, especially if there's an old one involved. Possibly two. Probably two.
Or three, possibly. So,
There is...
God, Orpheus.
My Ketchup does the same thing. He falls asleep with his eyes open all the time. It's creepy. You wave your hand in front of him, he's just like, yeah, he's asleep. There is one more thing, says Binta, before we get started. I don't think, unless it's a last resort, that the gods will become physically involved.
Oh no, I highly doubt it. I'm personally looking to try to get information from Maliki and such. I doubt that they would assist.
Well, there's a reason why they can't.
Divine Gate, right?
Divine Gate.
Because they're beyond the Divine Gate, yes.
But they're the ones that placed that in the first place. The first time they battled the old ones, well, like I said, it was a standstill. It decimated half the landmass and half the population of Pandera. Just because of how massive the battle was. If that occurred again, well, who knows what would be left at that point. So we want that should be a last resort.
That's understandable. I honestly, what I'm hoping to get is information. Because the binding they did has so far worked well. Information on what they did could be invaluable.
Yeah. Unfortunately, says Binta, that's one piece of information we don't have. We don't know how they did it. So if you can find that out.
Pretty sure there are spells that let you just ask gods directly.
Well, the thing I was
Indeed.
thinking is, while there are spells that can let you talk to gods directly, this is something that we want very specific information about very important things. And I think that we should stack the deck in our favor. I feel like if we have these descendants from these people and we try to do some sort of communication with them too, that could maybe give us a better chance of getting a good connection, especially since these aren't normal gods. It's not like Pelor, it's, random smaller gods with different followings. I think that we need to make sure we do all we can to get that information clearly.
I'm aware of a scholar on the cult of Crisis that's in Fort Granite that might be worth talking to.
Hmm?
Crisis, one of the Einfeldir.
Mm-hmm. Who is this scholar?
Name. Hold on. Scroll up. Felix Godwin. Felix Godwin.
How do you know of him?
DM, how did I hear about him? Because I rolled a history check.
You know that there is a small university. He writes academic papers for journals dealing with magic and gods and whatnot, and he is an expert of the blood cult of Crassus.
Oh, okay.
We'll just say that maybe he was a client or something. Attended a performance and talked about his stuff. I don't know.
Fair.
Oh, Felix Godwin. Yes. All right, so we cannot look into the Freeborn family, obviously, because they're all dead. But we have 3 solid leads on the others.
Well, which I think that it could be easy to chat with, the Nightwells, since
Yes.
we have a connection. But if there's somebody else that we think we should start with, we can.
The Nightwells and the Allerds seem like good beginnings, and this Felix Godwin is an excellent beginning for looking into Crassus as well.
Perfect.
How do you all, I say, looking at the incultants, how do you all know about these the Iron, how did you say it?
Einfeldir.
Einfeldir.
Well,
And their involvement in placing the Divine Gate.
well, they didn't place the divine gate. The gods did it themselves.
You said that they were the ones who placed it.
The Einfeldir are the ones who locked Yablink away.
Yes. Okay. I clearly misunderstood something that you
Also
said.
did. Because I was also thinking, but I was thinking, since I knew that the gods placed the divine gate, I thought what was being insinuated was that after the Einfeladir became gods, they then placed the Divine Gate.
No.
But-
The Dawn War
No.
happened. Then after they destroyed half of Pandera with the gods, they decide, oh shit, we can't go back onto the material plane because
We can wreck more shit.
we're
yeah.
gonna wreck more shit. So they put a Divine Gate with most of the gods behind the Divine Gate. And then the Einfelder came much, much later after, yeah, like,
Mhm.
you know, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. We got someone lost.
No,
but
it's
we're
okay.
Good. We're
It's
good.
there's
we
a
found
lot.
Our way.
There's a lot of information going on.
There
Yep.
is.
Can I ask another question?
Mm-hmm.
Does Inculta have any sort of particular association with Pelor?
Not in particular.
Insight check.
Sure. Go ahead. Like what kind of like connection?
Okay,
you
so
trying to
again,
glean?
looking through my notes,
Yes.
I was looking at the dreams that Tilda was having, where Erathis and or Pelor were kind of reaching out to her, trying to basically trying to convince her to go to Inculta and like help somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the dreams says, I wrote down in quotes, I need you, all of you, to help my children. I can't help them from where I am.
You can interpret that however you want. I have an DM. I have an idea, but
Well, sure, but I'm wondering if the Incultans have no particular association with Pelor, why would Pelor be calling them his children?
Because all
Or
of man is
Erathis.
his children? Question
children?
mark?
Yeah, okay, sure, maybe. I'm just
wait. Okay.
so that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Is like,
when
do they are they hiding an association?
No, they're not
with Pelor
hiding
or
an
anything?
association. Actually, what you're getting is there isn't a lack of association.
Hmm.
So what you've noticed from all five of these individuals, you know, a lot of people in this world carry like, you know, some kind of like recognition of like who they worship and whatnot. They don't have anything like that.
They're godless heathens,
Hmm.
is what you're saying.
Possibly.
Time to call a crusade.
Mhm.
Yep. Deus
And-
Vult.
There's fault. There's fault.
Interesting.
I'm
all.
wondering if there was something going on in Inculta that affected Pelor, but it wasn't necessarily that he was trying to protect Inculta, but just everybody. Like I would say that the "you're all my children" idea is probably
Right.
a possible interpretation.
I mean, it wasn't really clear, to be honest, in the first couple of dreams, if it was like which of the gods it was that was talking to Tilda.
Yeah, I remember that where it was like real confusing.
Yeah.
It was Arathis that was speaking with you.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But did I get that confirmed for my first two dreams? Or
Give me a second. Mm-hmm. Uh, shit. It was. For your first two dreams, it's safe to say it was probably Pelor that was speaking for you, but Arathis was speaking to you in your third one, I believe.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. In the third dream, absolutely.
You do know that Pelor is like viewed as like creator of humans, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Instilling his good and bad qualities into them.
Mm.
That would track with the all my children thing.
Yeah.
You know, he could have just been talking about humanity.
To help my children. I need you, all of you, to help my children. That's yeah. Okay, that's fine. And that is fine. I was just wondering if there was anything more to it, you know?
Yeah. But you do get a distinct lack of religiousness from Binta.
Mm. I think if anyone was paying attention to Tilda, they would see her kind of touching the symbol of Arathis that is also part of her new headpiece hair thing. And then just kind of sliding along the blue material that makes up the sort of snood part before just sort of well then
But Sansa's, but we'll, we'll, um, we'll get back to you soon about when we can get you entry into Inculta. Like we said, expect it in about a week or so.
If we're looking to, we can maybe divide and conquer a bit. Me and maybe one other person can go to Fort Granite. Maybe I take Angelo. Talk to this scholar, see what's going on with that. We could talk to some of the other important family people that we were discussing as well that have relations.
have we checked out Angelo to make sure he's cistless?
Yeah, we did that
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
And
in the
detect magic him.
I believe
Jesus,
you
oh
guys
my
did
God.
that, yeah.
Yeah, we did that in the mansion
Mhm.
after, quote unquote, killing Alexandria.
Yeah, after
Right.
he like passed out.
Well, he passed out once he found out A, his sister's in a Sojum. B,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
sister's in his twin sister is in a Sojum, and her
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
has been taken over and was a lich.
Was
Yeah.
taken over, okay? It's no longer been taken over.
Yeah, because there's no more body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
everything's
is
fine. We're
semantics.
fine. Everything's fine.
So he's kind of experiencing a few things right now.
Yeah,
Fair.
he's going through it.
It's fair.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do? Any other questions you had for these guys?
I can't
Not
think
that
of
I can
anything
think
off
of.
the top of my head.
Okay. Binta does mention one thing. If we are going to, after, part A, entrap, part B, separate, and part probably plan C, transform. We might have to start gathering people magic users and whatnot to help us make circles of transformation if that's the way we want to go.
I think that we should not start with that one because, again, God of Snot, very possible.
Well, after we split them.
Yeah. A very important question, though, about the circles of transformation. Once we've split them, I doubt we're going to have, like, a physical chunk we can just toss in there. If we are able to entrap it in just, like, a jar or a gem or something like Alexandria, if we just threw it in there, would that work, or does it need to be a living thing that can be transformed?
Theoretically, souls can just be. It could just be a disembodied person.
It's not going to be a soul, though.
Well, we might just have to try it. Because what you're already suggesting hasn't been done before.
Yeah, no, I know.
We're going to have to find some more old magic as well, as much old magic as we can. Presumably, nothing else will work on old ones.
And then get as many relic holders as we can to help too.
No, we do
Indeed.
already have Ashayla and the others coming, so.
Belzor and Lynn.
Which
So that's
means that we
Belzor
should
and Lynn.
probably get you all out of here before they show up.
Well, we're going to have to work together, so they're going to have to get over it.
Yeah, but they got to
Still-
get back to Unculta to get us in as soon as possible.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
There's
true.
more
yes.
relics
Sorry,
over there.
For some reason, I wasn't making the connection of them actually going to Inculta to get us in. It's just like somehow having means to communicate. So,
Would you care to use our teleportation circle?
Oh,
Oh, no, wait! Teleportation doesn't work on your island, does it?
no. The way we travel
Little
is
birdie told me that.
the way we travel, says Binta, is we use the ley lines to actually get into Unculta.
oh, you know about ley lines. That's good.
pretty
One of
cool.
our associates has been noticing a shift in the ley lines, specifically around name of place where he is, because I can't remember.
Tamaran.
Yes.
I've noticed that too, says Binta, and that's important and more likely why Inculta will help you. The reason you can't get to Inculta by teleportation means it sits between two planes most of the time.
Oh, interesting.
This and the ethereal plane. We do that by the use of the island, and the continent does this by the use of the ley lines. Because currently the ley lines are fluctuating, it's staying entirely into the material plane at the current moment.
Interesting.
We don't know why this is happening.
I'm sure it's Old One related.
Possibly, says Binta. They do have the capability.
Wonderful.
But we still should be able to get you
Tilda
there.
says very sarcastically.
But yeah, we'll talk to them. We should be able to get you in quickly. Well, you know where we are. We'll be in touch. Be safe with your information gathering. We'll try to get more information on entrapment if possible on our side if we can.
Good. Thank you.
Well, good luck.
We all need it.
You as well.
They nod and they will show themselves out.
Tilda glances at Raine right before calling out to the Incultans. Avandra bless you. Avandra's blessings on all of us, really.
Yeah, they nod. You as well. It's a little awkward when
Yep.
Switch says it.
Beep beep.
It's like when somebody hasn't gone to Catholic church in a long time, and so they're like, ah, yes, and also with your spirit. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah, they changed the words recently,
They
and I'm
changed
just
the
like, what
words,
the fuck
exactly.
happened? Yeah, because I was at somebody's wedding and it was a Catholic wedding. I'm like, what the fuck are they saying? I'm like, these words changed.
so that they know who's going to church and who's not.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta keep you on your toes.
Mm.
But they'll leave. Yeah, you Raine, you hear like in your head, awkward.
We don't do that here.
Apologies, Raine. I just wanted to see what they'd do. And I do hope that Lavandra blesses us all with luck. Good luck.
We are going to need it.
Precisely.
All right, what are you guys doing now? You got 3 days.
Going to bed.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. You got 3 days till Belzor and Lynn arrive. Shayla
Well,
can't they get there any
there-
faster?
Are Belzor in Lynn in Fort Granite?
Yes.
Okay. Because I can go to Fort Granite, talk to this guy, and then take them with me the next day. Via teleport.
I think they're already on their way.
They said that
So.
they were trying to secure a way to Valido via teleportation circle, so not like physical transport. I think that would take
Well, then
like
never
over
mind.
a week for them to get here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think Tilda wants to go check out the library at the Warwater Estate as well in Fort Granite. So, I presume that Angelo and Alexandria have some sort of library where they keep shit.
I mean, Andrew says that
old
we
magic.
do. Though.
And other histories and stuff. Like old magic and things like that.
I think that if any of us are going to Robur, we should all go, because of all the places we could get jumped, that's number one right now.
Yeah, especially with the temple.
Exactly. With the temple being right there, some shit could go down. So I think that we could probably divvy up just about everything else, but I don't want to divvy up that one.
Okay. So then we can always just tell Belzor and Lynn, like, hey, don't worry about securing passage. We're going to do a couple things here, and then we'll all come to you.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Is everyone good with that?
Yeah.
What are we doing here before we go there?
Talking to the Nightwells, and the Allards. Talking to all of the number of people that are coming to our keep because we said, hey, come to our keep, please. It's an emergency.
Ishalia and the gang won't be here until like 3 days as well. It was the same timeline as Belzor and Lynn, so we could get Belzor and Lynn here faster than, like, if we go to them first, I should say. If we didn't, then they'd be arriving at the same time.
Yeah, but we gotta go to Robur anyway.
Since we have some people on their way to the keep already, Eva's cool with staying at the keep to be backup with Nenrine for checking them in while you guys are hopping between cities and talking to other people that way. That way there's at least a little bit of muscle here at the keep who knows exactly what we're looking for with the cyst.
That's fair. I don't necessarily want to leave you alone. And I don't mean that in a, like, Nenrine's not good backup kind of way. I mean that in a, like, what if there are, what if you do find a cyst and then they take over
Yeah.
you, and then it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I do. Before you guys leave, I'm going to push pretty hard for Alexandria to be put into that sword golem body, because that'll help a lot with defense.
Okay, look. I still have 3 cleric spells that I can take. And we do have in the group funds enough to create a true resurrection, or like a whatever it is, create a new body for her.
But do we have anybody that can cast True Resurrection?
Me, if I pick this cleric spell.
Oh, I didn't think you could cast 9th levels.
I can now.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So yeah, I can create a new body. We've got 34,000 gold in group funds alone. And other stuff too. But
Well,
also, I'm assuming that Alexandria's estate would probably be willing to assist with the cost of making her new body, so she doesn't have to be a sword golem forever. Like, mommy, you're so pointy.
It's more of a
come on.
question for Alexandria if she wants to be a sword golem and have a body like right now, super immediately, and we still have enough funds to access things like spell components, possibly a true resurrection for one of us, etc.
Yeah.
yeah, we're not.
Yeah, Alexandria, if she has any input in this, because it's kind of her body, she says.
Sure. Yes. No.
Yeah, she says.
No. We're definitely.
Yeah, she says, look, right now, the immediate threat is the Owed Ones. I'd rather you use your funds to help in that effort. I've been a gem for, like, at least a year.
Oh, darling, you've always been a gem.
Too soon. Too soon.
There is, like, a deep sigh you hear, Zaitari.
Yep, I bet.
Kind of like...
Did she like that? I thought it was pretty clever.
So get Alexandria in the sword golem, and then she'll be here too. So it's not just going to be like me and Nenrine. Like,
honestly, of
we're
any
gonna have
of
some
the
firepower here.
Of either side, for us to have one person on versus a bunch of people on the other side, it makes more sense to have one person here because, like you said, there's backup here. So yeah, Mel would be okay with this.
Tons of backup, and I'm with the whole stillness of mind thing. Charm and fear doesn't work on me. Like, I can just choose to have it stop. So,
how did that work out for Gokor? How did that work out for Gokor's friends?
I don't know how mechanically sound Gokor is or was, but Aoife knows her abilities, and she can do that. She's also got very, very high wisdom to kind of save against it ahead of time.
Okay. If everyone else says, yeah, no, this is fine, then Tilda will go along with it.
And I've got Ascending Stone with 1 charge left, so if something goes sour, I can get a hold of probably Zaitari, who has teleport, like
Mhm.
immediately. So
I have teleportation circle. It's just as good.
Is that the food we have at home?
Zaitari with the fun McDonald's teleport. Teleportation circles,
That's
the burgers
funny.
we have at home.
Yep.
yeah. Plus, you guys are going to talk to a bunch of like noble houses
We have
with
food.
godly lineages, and Aoife's
Yep.
not interested.
Yeah, I mean, Zaitari's kind of not interested either, which is why she was offering just to go talk to this dude in Robert by herself. So
Well,
at least
honestly,
at least with Angelo, anyway. So
we can split up once we get to Robert, though, because we'll still at least be all in the same town. If we're not on a different continent, it's a lot easier to, get assistance. So.
Yeah. I mean, I know Zaitari's not really that interested in talking to either of these, but, I do agree with Lynn that going to Robert might be might be better if we're all there.
maybe here I'll send a sending to Belzor again.
Okay.
And I'll write the message out to you. Essentially, the intention is to ask and see if they can convince this Felix Godwin to come with them to talk to us about his academic research.
Okay. Yeah. They will respond in kind and saying, yeah, we'll, Belzer will say, yeah, we'll see if we can, speak to him and see if he'll come with us.
That's a really good
and I'll
idea.
also say that we can pay him time and get him back to his university after he's done, but like just to see if he can come here. So
All right. Yeah, that will take a little while for them to probably track him down and talk to him.
I mean, I'll give them the in this message, I would have been like, "Hey, Felix Goodwin, Blood of Graces
Godwin.
stuff, can pay at this college, etc., that kind of thing."
Can pay.
And just add in there, ask them to have Felix bring his research with him. So that we can also
I'll add that in too.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they'll travel as soon as they'll go to the university in the city and see if they can talk to get him to come with.
Cool.
Plan on sending them another sending in like a few hours.
Will do.
Why don't you stay at the keep then for that? And Tilda and somebody else will go talk to the Nightwells and then maybe to the Allards if nobody wants to go there. I don't know.
Mel knows that she's not terribly skilled at anything we're doing, but she's gonna help out her best, which is, mostly just being muscle.
Yeah, I think Team Ambassador should have Mel and Raine there for sure, for security reasons.
Back up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
How
you
far
guys...
our diplomatic skills?
Yeah.
No.
Melody
Melody-
is amazing at tackling, so
I was about to say Melody
Mhm,
cast tackle.
I'll be huge first, though.
Every day's a game of Mr. President with Melanie there.
I mean,
Melody would be amazing at that game.
she's your knight. It's her job.
It's true.
Okay, so the question then is, do we go to the Nightwell estate first or to the Ashenfell estate?
Flip a
Which-
coin.
Yeah, I feel like whatever is fine. I mean, there's probably not a huge.
Well, you know the Nightwell Estates is
empty at the moment, right?
empty. They
Yeah.
are, I believe, they are currently in Dighton.
Yep.
The Allard
That's
would
what I
be
thought.
the Allards would be actually in Leona at their
Mhm.
estate.
All right. It has been chosen.
Yeah. We'll go to the Ashenfells first, just because those were the first ones that I thought of.
Hello,
Tilda
we're
is
trying.
not going to.
Hello, we're trying to save the world. Money, please. Here's a basket.
Money, please. Please give us the monies. Yeah, no, Tilda's not gonna do that.
Hello, we are here to tell you about the fund to restore Alexandria's body.
Mm.
Do you have 5 minutes so that we can go over the benefits of this plan with you?
What were those things that you could give to the church to make sure you could get into heaven?
Indulgences?
Yes.
Dear God.
Sorry.
We're the Catholic Church now.
Yeah, I mean, we are
Apparently.
making essentially our keep into a doomsday bunker, so we can pay for admission. Or we can charge admission, so.
Yeah, so Tilda will tell Theo goodbye, give him a quick kiss, and, kiss Trixie on the head.
Yep.
Too. Make sure they are both wearing those necklaces, even though that's definitely a choking hazard for Trixie.
Can you just like glue it to her? Like
Put it
don't
on her
Yeah, 'cause
swaddling
that's
cloth.
not.
Just eyelash glue it to her forehead.
Yeah, it's fine.
Glue it on the head like a helmet, you know. Fine.
I mean, yeah, you could
Anyway.
probably put it like swallow her, swallow, like
Swallow.
swaddle her.
And then we'll head to Dighton
All right.
while they go off.
All right. Sounds good. So
And I'm like, don't forget to check your father for cysts.
yes, yes, of course.
They're black. They sort of look like monkeypox.
Oh God,
It's
monkeypox.
terrifying.
All right.
I am so fed up with the world right now.
I mean,
Me, bro. I am so fed up.
I know. I saw the monkeypox too.
We'll be okay for the monkeypox.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I have no idea what this is, and I don't know if I want to know.
Pacifier of non-detection. If we had time, absolutely. We don't have time.
It's what it sounds like, Mallory.
No, it's okay. I probably don't need to know
Okay.
about this.
You should be fine.
Okay. Yep, sure. All right. I'll just say
Um,
blissfully ignorant of this.
okay. All right. So you guys head there. While you are heading to Dighton, at some point, Bear Friend does pop out. Aoife, kind of just been
Okay.
hanging around with you. I don't know. Have you told her yet about the plan to go with Shadok?
I feel like I probably would have told her last night
Okay.
after the whole Lich situation and the decision to start like splitting up, the important people.
Okay. She is considerably worried about you as well. I mean, she doesn't want to leave you, but she understands why you're sending her with Shadok.
Yeah,
She
I'll
seems
feel
really,
a lot.
really sad.
I'll feel a lot better if you're with Shadok.
Okay.
I'm going to be around a lot of very talented, very capable people. I'll be okay over here. She needs some support. She's, the whole orphan thing, trying to be sacrificed, being kidnapped, turned into a shark, brought back. Like, she's been through a lot, and this is just one more thing. So she needs you now, just like I needed you a little while ago.
You see her nod slowly. You see Bird Friend just like kind of like watching you, like how like sparrows do, like head kind of twitching back and forth from side to side.
I'll scratch Bear Friend's cheeks, then give her a kiss on the head, and just say, "I'll be okay. I can promise that."
Okay.
I need you to make sure that Shattuck will be okay, because I don't know this Daryl guy, and I don't trust anyone named Daryl.
It's fair.
I mean, not wrong.
Oh god, and he looks like Ed Sheeran.
He's gonna crumple at the first sign of stress, so please, you need to be there.
Bearfoot's like, what's an Ed Sheeran?
It's a thing that sunburns very easily. One day of travel, and he's gonna be immobilized.
Something that sunburns very easily.
At this point, Bear Friend like gives you a lick on the cheek, and you see Bird Friend like hop down from Bear Friend's head, and kind of sits in the center of your hat.
I mean, if you want to stay there, I'm not going to stop you. But you'll probably die.
Bird Friend at this point, at you saying that, kind of just then sits comfortably in the center of your hat, not moving.
Divide and conquer. I respect it. We do the same thing.
Bear Friend looks like a little happy that like the bird went with you. Okay. I stay with Shattuck.
And I know you've got some teleportation shit. So when Shattuck's asleep, if you can please check on Trixy too.
Mm-hmm. I will. Stay safe.
Theo wakes up in the middle of the night for a glass of water.
Yeah, Theo's like, what? Jesus!
It's just a bear staring into a crib,
Yep.
looks over at him, and then disappears.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, am I dreaming?
Yeah. Was it a dream? Was it an omen?
I'm sure at this point Theo knows about Bear Friend.
Oh yeah, Theo
he does.
Yeah,
but it's
still.
like, you wake up at like 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
catch a weird shadow out of the corner of your eye.
Ah.
My-
Like, I have a cousin who is deathly afraid of cows because when she was little, her white and black spotted dog came running at her in the middle of the night when she like got up to go to the bathroom or something, and she thought it was a cow and is now afraid of cows.
I mean, fair enough.
It's like it's your dog, but
Yeah. I mean, that's how the brain works. I'm afraid
Yeah,
of
I know.
grasshoppers because one was jumping near me, and a cat tried to jump on it and hit me in the face instead. So now I'm
Oh,
afraid of grasshoppers.
grasshoppers. Yeah. Anyway,
But Bear Friend says, I will watch them both. I promise.
Thank you. I'm not going to make any promises about keeping Bird Friend safe. I'm going to be doing some very, very dangerous things.
See Bear Friend nod. Bird Friend doesn't seem very concerned.
Bird Friend is taking its own life in its own
Yeah, I
wing.
wouldn't expect Bird Friend to be concerned. It's a bird. Birds are interesting when it comes to stress.
Okay. All right. So you want to go see your buddy, Michelle?
Yeah.
Did you send her a sending before you arrived?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, then she will be at home expecting you. You guys arrive at the estate, the Ashenfell / Nightwell estate. Shelly is there, because you had sent her a message beforehand. And what did you say you were coming for a visit, or did you also mention you have something very important to her to talk about? Like, what was the nature of the sending?
It's probably like, hello, darling. Important things to speak about. Do you mind if I pop in?
Okay.
Tilda.
All right. Yeah, she will respond with, "Oh, please stop by. Of course, anytime. Just come in."
P.S. Please include your father.
Yes. Okay. So you arrive. She is there.
Mm-hmm.
She she gives you kisses on the cheek. She
Mm-hmm.
shakes Melanie and Raine's hands. Yeah, because Raine, you were there when you guys rescued her dad, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you were there, so she remembers you for sure. Oh, hello. And Melanie, you see this armor. Have they met?
I think Shelly and Melanie have met. Because I'm having a memory of Melanie seeking out her birth father.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was on the same trip as a trip to
Yeah, I believe that it
to
was.
see Michelle.
I think that I sat there quietly eating cookies or scones or
Yep.
something.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds right.
I recall this. I think Zaitari was there as well. Maybe. I remember
I'm
there
not
was
sure
like this
about Zaitari.
tapestry. I also just remember a tapestry, but I think it's just because I was paying attention when this was happening, like a lot, I guess, and it's like stuck with me. It's like maybe Zaitari was there. I don't know.
I definitely yeah, no, it was definitely at least Melanie and Tilda. Because Melanie was like putting off meeting her birth father by like, no, let's go see your friend, it's totally fine, like I can see him, whatever,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And Tilda was heavily pregnant at the time.
Okay. But Michelle is there. Her and she is with David, her son. And she, father is there. Though, not looking as well as he used to. He's been kind of like sick for a while. And there's tea and more scones served. And cucumber sandwiches. And Michelle says, "So, what can I do for all of you today? You look quite, well, serious.
How old is David?
He, if I remember, he was like 1-ish last time, a couple, like 1 or 2-ish.
Okay.
So he's like maybe 3 at this point.
Okay,
Still very
so
young.
Yeah, he's probably not going to have any memories of this if we, just start talking about the end of the world.
Yeah. Oh,
Cool.
for sure.
So, there's no easy way to say this. So I'm just going to sort of launch into it, if that's all right.
Okay.
Your ancestor, Mikhaili Maliki, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Maliki is, I believe, what is pronunciation we go with.
Was part of a group called the Einfeldir. A long time ago, and they put away an old one, which is an old god. I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
They imprisoned this old one. They were part of a group that imprisoned this old one, and then ascended to minor godhood, I believe. And we were wondering if there's anything you know about your ancestors' deeds.
Alternately, if you want to just give us a little bit of blood, we can probably communicate with him a little bit better. So, we've
Or
probably
that.
got like a vial or something.
You see, like, she kind of like
Your
coughs a
ancestors'
little.
deeds, and if you know anything about anything that's been passed down in your family,
Like blood.
other than blood. An artifact or something along those lines.
Unfortunately, we don't have anything like that. I mean, most of, father and Michael say most of everything we've told you was actually speculation. The fact that, I was captured to be sacrificed was
Yes.
probably the only thing that solidified the rumor a little bit. We unfortunately don't have any items of note. Michelle says, "I'm willing to give you blood if that helps."
Well, I was actually, I was a little bit mildly joking. What I was thinking was this. So there are spells that we can use to try to commune with gods, and I was thinking that if you would try to kind of like do it with us, then we might get a better connection because of your, lineage. If you want to toss some blood in there, the two, that's fine. But we can probably try it without that. It was mostly a joke. Mostly.
Oh, I see.
Behind Melanie, Tilda is just looking at them both like, I'm so sorry. Just kind of with that a look of like, I'm sorry.
Shelley just kind of like waves, smiles, like, in any way I could help. But if you think my involvement will help, I will try my best. Honestly,
It almost definitely can't hurt.
It certainly cannot hurt.
I mean, unless, the cut's really bad, but,
You're not there.
I know, but I can make jokes.
You are a joke.
Damn!
Wow.
I missed what was said. It was probably for the better.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, I'm not gonna get you the burn cream for you, but it was.
I was joking as well. So when you watch this over,
So does. I'm sorry, I'm watching ducks eat peas. So does do we have the spell that we can use to do the thing? Thing. Zoop zoop.
fuck it. I will take divination
Yeah.
or something along those lines. Hang on. Where are we at? I know it's around here somewhere. There it is. A much lower level than I anticipated.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Give me a second. I will put it into my spell, my character sheet. Give it a moment to. We'll say I took that before and have had it prepared now. Oh, and I can cast it as a ritual. Yay!
Yay!
Which means I don't have to use the spell slot.
Yay!
And because it's a divination spell, I get to get a spell slot back of lower value, I believe. Nope, that's not it. So divination spell, second level or higher, using a spell slot, you regain. Oh, using a spell slot. Well, then never mind.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
It would be a way to just generate yourself a bunch of spells over and over again. So I can see why, it's not gonna work that way.
It's fair. It's a fair trade, I guess. Not that. Or that.
Okay. What is the question then? I assume
The question.
Yeah, I assume you're directing this to Maliki.
Yes. And I would like them to be part of the ritual so as to kind of like add their familial connection to the divination, as it were. And say something along the lines of what should the question be?
How did you? Can we do just how did you imprison the old one?
Blink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's basically it. Yeah.
It has to be about a specific goal or event or activity to occur within 7 days. So it's going to be, we're going to be trying to imprison parts of an old one soon. How did you do it?
Sure.
Okay.
That works for me too.
Let me think. Okay, hold on. Let me get my list up.
And I'll just take 25 gold off of my.
Where is the list? There we go. All right. So you hear you hear a feminine voice say the following.
Dear Maliki, we seek guidance.
Mhm.
Tell us. Tell us your truth.
All duckies and peas.
Damn, they cleared that bowl out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the one duck had like 3 peas. The other one was just going.
Yeah. The other duck is eating much more delicately and like bringing them out of the bowl and then like, ooh.
Oh yeah. The
This
one
one's just
duck.
like jackhammer.
Yeah.
Jackhammering into the bowl. I really want that to be part of what Maliki says. Like, sorry. Don't know. Don't remember. I mean, Darren, if you need more time, you could always
Nope,
just
I
call
got
the
it.
session
I got
here.
it. I'm almost done.
Okay. Ducky. Alright, now I need 12 cleric spells.
All right. This is what is said. Whenever Mallory gets back, I want to know when they want to message Belzor, since it's probably been a few hours already.
Oh fuck! They had a lot of steps. God damn. Oh.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's an old one.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason that I'm saying that this is a lot of steps is because this is also very specific. Like we can't necessarily make this happen again at all. I mean, Sindor warped reality around Yablik? What? What?
Do you? I'll look at Michelle and Michael and ask. Do you, either of you, have any idea which relic Maliki might have been using? Do you have any family histories from back thousands of years ago?
I mean, all we know is she was a goddess of the hunt and wilderness. That's all we have.
That's fair.
Right.
And I know this is. I mean, honestly, if somebody were asking my family or me about these, an ancestor from that time, I mean, I don't know if I would know. Can I do some sort of check to maybe puzzle out what a goddess of the hunt in the wilderness, who could also apparently manage ley lines and finagle with those, what god that might lead to in terms of relics? I don't know.
You could try. I just wanted to know, Mallory, when you wanted to contact Belzor again.
If it's been enough time, then I'll do that now.
I would say because it takes some time for Tilda to travel to Dighton and meet up with Michelle and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you get back if you
Oh,
ask,
Lord.
"Hey, how did you find Godwin?"
Oh no.
What kind of check would it be for me to?
Arcana, and give me a history as well.
So both.
Yeah.
Okay, great. There's Arcana. Not such a great history, but pretty good Arcana. So good news.
Oh yeah, it's great news. He's definitely going to be at the keep because he wasn't kidnapped by a cult.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Can we just
Jared, you give me this lead, and you take it away from me. Like, what the fuck? How dare you? Also, did Zalia reply to my sending
Yes.
when I was telling
yes,
her? Okay.
Yes, she did. Hold on. I'll give you
Okay.
that too.
That's fine. Okay. I'll send her ascending at a later time because
Okay.
I'm running out of spell slots again.
Yep.
Uh,
Hold on. There is a little bit more.
Yeah, I am now on my last 4th level
This
spell
was
slot. So,
this was part of the one that you sent Belzor initially.
oh, okay, good. I'll send him another one. Do you need help? Or is this something that you and Lynn can take care of and then meet us back at the keep?
He will reply, we'll probably need some help.
We're good, but not that good.
Yeah, well, listen, they're reincarnated monk masters, so they
Oh
might have
no,
been
I
able to take
totally,
care of it on their own.
I agree.
All right, well, I'll share that information with the party.
How?
Once everybody's back at the keep,
Okay.
because we wanted to go to Robur anyway.
Mm.
Now we have another reason to go.
By the way, I decided True Resurrection and Commune were going to be my other two cleric spells.
Yeah, okay.
Judging for your arcana and your history check, and judging of what you know about Maliki and the description she just told you,
Mm-hmm.
it's beginning to sound like they used their own particular talents to do most of these things. It might have just been the relics they used just enhanced those abilities.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
gonna stab an old god.
But you're gonna do it when he's not looking at you. You're gonna wait until he's not looking, then you're gonna stab him.
Yep.
Stab him right in the
I'm gonna
balls.
say, hey, look over there.
Look over there where you're being tackled, and then I stab. Ha ma 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 ma.
That's not really helpful for me, though.
You get to think at him.
Mm.
Anyways, I think this is where we can leave it for tonight.
Sure.
Yep. So you got one more family to talk to.
Yep. The Allards.
Yep. You possibly have to go rescue a scholar. That's fun.
Yeah.
Or can we just raid his office and take his research instead?
We should probably still rescue him. Just, it's the right thing to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
also in my sending to Belzor, I would have asked, what is the location? After he said that they have a possible location.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Like, is it still on the that continent, or is it elsewhere?
I am going to. It's still on Robur, he says.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to get the map. Where's the map?
In the mountains north of Dragon Reach.
That's way north.
Of course it is.
Can we raid his office and look at his research and then save him after we've figured out the old ones?
Assuming there's
Okay.
anything there.
Left of him or his research.
Yeah, we might want to rescue him because he might know things that might not be written down clearly. It's always easier to actually like speak to a person who's an expert than try to go through their notes, which might be, you know, insane ramblings.
You know, it's like when you borrow somebody's notes because you missed class that day, and you're like, what the fuck are these things?
Mm-hmm.
What even is this word? Philip?
All right. Next game is the 27th of May, if everybody's available.
Should be.
Yeah, I should be.